also not in a module though at the moment. I think once we get back into one,
Yeah,
like,
that's why I told him I was like, just assume you'll never get in a fight and then go from there. Because that's the thing. That's exactly right. There is I don't balance it at all. It is literally just like there's going to be fights on the overworld now and stuff, but until you find a main hook, there's no three
Whoa.
pillars rule. It's
Gretna
just
got
what it
Gretna
is.
got an upgrade. Her mini
Yeah.
looks very different.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, they like really upgraded the textures for her mini. Like if you zoom in all the way, it looks a lot better.
Oh,
Let's see.
good.
Where are you at? I see the fist
oh
mage. I
yeah,
see.
gross.
I'm not in those. So
You were just in, and then you disappeared on my
I
screen. You just
couldn't get it on my
Oh,
computer. I had to get
oh
out.
yeah,
dipped out of
yeah,
existence.
so I don't know if you guys know this, but they actually so surprisingly they didn't actually update any of that texture. But the reason why it looks awesome is because they literally changed the entire shader system, and they've changed it now in 3 patches. It's so much better. So if you look at all the minis, they actually all look even nicer. Um, uh, but yeah, this is far better. Even the fog is better. Eventually, the depth of field will be fixed too, and that'll be nice. But like look at Max's mini. It's so much nicer. But that's just the shaders. Um Hopefully they will also change the lighting for when they put in the custom minis. That'll be the next really big bump.
Oh yeah, Max has been working out. Much more muscle definition.
And my tail spider thing. So
Yep.
I
I actually
oh that's okay.
yeah, I
I
actually do
can
not
print. I
know
just can't get
where
in.
your mini is yet, but I guess I will when you launch.
I'm
Yep.
not launching. It's not going.
No, that's the one I set. That's actually the one I set up to look at it. I'm gonna get rid of that, but I'm gonna wait till she's in. Yeah.
I can't get in.
What is it
It's not
saying?
like it's just I'm at the front page where it says campaign and change log.
Yep.
That's it.
d-
Not letting me get no little hands. I can't click anything.
Oh,
Oh wait,
try your. I was gonna
wait,
say
wait.
it might just be loading, but this is what Fintrix was saying last time. It's for some reason on some people's computers, I don't know why this happens either. If you click on something before it loads, it like freaks out and freezes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna leave and come back in then.
Yep. All right, let's change this. Let's make this real. Hold on 1 second.
I kind of wish that we had like a progress bar, like a vis-a-vis like World of Warcraft, so we could just see how close we are to 10. I'm sure not at all, but it'd be cool to see.
I mean, it's milestone. I think
Yeah,
this is
I
just a
know.
guess. Okay, okay.
I think we're playing whatever Chris damn well feels like.
Yeah, that was my
No,
thing.
Henri is right. It depends on how much stuff you kill too, but there is milestones.
Well, this village dies today.
That's not the first sacrifice they're gonna see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
I
Oh,
mean,
we're all on the
I
same
mean,
page.
if anything, I'm 2 commoner drow ahead of you guys.
I feel like most of the XP isn't tied up in the commoners. I feel like it's like that one drow lady
Yeah.
walking around with like a crown of skulls on.
But you
Yeah.
know
They're
how like you're
point
playing a
they're
video
point
game,
0.01%.
you're trying to play a video game and you want to take out all the little minions while still in stealth. Yeah.
Yep. Yep, cool. We'll go right from there. So you guys are back here, hiding somewhere. Gretna, were you able to get back in?
Oh, I can't even find it on the campaign.
No, that's I can.
Side.
I'll summon you. Don't worry, I'll summon you. I will summon you.
Yeah, the back was actually headed towards the foul-smelling building, thinking that the Ukatoa skins or the Kuotoa skins
Yep.
were yeah
Ukatoa.
Ukatoa.
Did you get in? Did you get in, Gretna? By the way,
Nope.
I did summon you. It's not bringing you in.
Drag. Yeah. It says group Preview, Tomb of Horrors, Preview, Overworld, and then my own stuff.
Just get into one of them. It's okay. Just get into one of them, and I'll summon you. It doesn't matter. Yeah,
It's not letting me into anything.
that's weird.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
I can. You can look at the stream, and I can add your mini in. That's no
Fine.
big deal. But yeah, that is strange though.
Pisses me off. I know, right? That's what I feel like. Alright.
What did I just type in, Gretna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We'll put you back here right now. Since I'm not sure where you are. Okay. Okay. All right. So you are hiding in the back. So what's happened is that woman has obviously stopped her ritual. She fired something. You guys heard a scream. The bodies that are around here are in these corners here, in the four corners. And now there are other drow men coming to kind of like unhook the bodies from whatever they were on, and they're like talking amongst themselves, heavily distracted. What would you guys like to do?
Um, do we have a sense from either the barrier dropping or seeing Orasis and his suit kind of come back to life that we have access to our powers again?
Yeah, and you can feel it. Everyone that has like magic, you guys would know instinctively that your magic is working.
Okay. Then as soon as we feel that wash over us, CEO is
Yep.
going to utilize Mask of Many Faces to look like a standard drow woman again.
Okay. Okay.
And
Uh,
she's just going to kind of sit and wait, not sure what the best move would
Right.
be at this
Now,
point.
you guys know that smell, rotting fish carcasses, is coming from this building here. This one
Yeah.
here, where my light is.
mm,
But the door's to the front, right? It's not around the back.
That's right.
Okay.
But you can do an investigation to see if there's any other way in. But there
Yeah.
may not be.
It's worth a shot.
Sure.
who eat? Ooh.
13.
Oh, yeah, still pretty good.
Yeah,
4 on the
Better than
dice.
mine.
So you walk to the back. Everything is smooth stone. You don't find any kind of secret entrance or doorway from behind here.
Mm,
Sis, Umbra, do you think that perhaps you two could make a boat with the carcasses?
If you give me a few minutes to deal with my spells, I might be able to
Yeah,
switch
because
some of
I couldn't find any spare boats lying around, and there was one building that looked like it could have stored uh the boats, but it would be too risky to go there with all the drow that are roaming around.
We're gonna have to get into this building somehow, and I'm not sure if it's possible without getting spotted.
I have an idea. I can go invisible and pick the lock.
I could make a small passage with stone shape.
Oh, that would be genius.
I can hit it real hard.
That's less
Less
genius.
genius.
I
I'm not
prefer
saying it was
the
a good
mage.
idea. I was just
The-
putting options on the
Gretna,
table.
go ahead and do an investigation. Go ahead and do an investigation check. If that's your idea, I imagine you're going to be looking at the stone. Do
Well,
quick
we're
investigation.
suggesting
check.
it, yeah. Okay, so that's fine.
I will
Just to
aid
look at
you.
the stones or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, can I provide Gretna guidance as she gets
Sure.
familiar with her environment?
Oh no, it's stones of
yes,
dwarf
good
killing.
and good. That's two.
Okay. You know, hold on. You got guidance.
Yep.
And
Thank you
advantage.
very
Turn that
much.
2 into a 3.
5.
3.
Yeah, so she got a 5. So Gretna, the thing well, so here's the thing. This stone is completely foreign to you. You know that it's stone of the Shadowfell because you've heard stories of it, but you have no idea what type or what it is. But the interesting thing is that as you're looking in the back, there are cracks in this thing.
Uh,
Hmm.
You find small cracks that other people didn't find with your specialty. But
And this, well, that's a history usually, but
yep.
the cracks. Can I figure out like whether they're just natural or whether I don't know they're
That
forced
if
cracks or.
so now that you found something, you can make your standard roll.
Okay.
You can make
And
a
that's
history
a
roll.
6 plus my proficiency, so
Yep.
um, so that's a 10.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're pretty sure that because it's already cracked here with your stone shaping. First of all, you don't. Again, these are Shadowfell rocks. I believe it says specifically if it's another plane of existence, you don't know. Correct? That is right. Your stone
I-
shape. I'm pretty sure that's correct, but
the stone
we can look at that
cutting?
later. Yeah, the stone cutting. I think it has to be on the plane. Anything on the plane that you exist in. But so you're familiar with the rock, but the nice thing is that you know because there's cracks, and you know from your ability that you could certainly do this pretty quietly
Oh, okay.
because there's already
It's
a
actually a 14, and it's whenever you make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework, you are considered proficient in the
yep.
history skill and add double my proficiency. So that would be a 14. And
Cool. Yep.
uh, yeah, no, it doesn't say anything about on a different plane or anything.
Okay. Yeah, it's just that if doesn't it say something like you know about all stones on your plane or something? Doesn't it say something like that? Or no?
Not according to this.
What
I
does it
like to
say?
imagine dwarf babies are just like popped out. They're like, this is good granite.
Yep,
Mhm.
we know our rocks.
It's just racial.
Yes, this stone
Yeah.
is made of stone.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
racial.
Yeah. I'll look at it later. I could have swore that I could have swore that like for instance like if you're looking at actual like Avernus like obsidian that you wouldn't necessarily know it was Avernus obsidian because it's obviously not in your plane of existence, but I could be wrong. I'll look at it.
I'll look at the more.
Well, we know
Yeah.
now.
We
Well,
will
Okay.
start
that,
over here
So-
and
But
try to
yes, you could get in here. You could definitely use this ability and get in pretty safely.
then why don't Gretna, how long do you think it would take for you to be able to do this?
Not long. It's super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Oh, I love
I'm
love
jumping in the water.
that. Gage, you watch it constantly. Don't even.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's supposed to be like, "That's an annoying." There was one who's like, "That's an annoying catchphrase." Yeah, it is. People latch onto it though.
Shaboom
Wow,
comes
wow.
over here and puts his ear against the wall. I highly doubt this will work, but does it sound like there's signs of life inside the building?
Go ahead and do your perception check.
Right, because if someone is in the building, Umbra and I can at least pass the boats to you. Somebody walks in, it's less suspicious that a drow is in
You
there.
can't hear
Well-
anything. Yeah, you can't hear
Yeah.
anything through the stone.
I can't make a big. I don't think I can make a big enough hole for a boat to come out. I
That
can
is
make
correct.
I can make a
Mm.
small passage, and we can get in.
Okay, well, we could get in and then bring the carcasses out, and then it'll be a
Carcasses.
cramped workspace, but we
Yep.
could work on the boats behind all these buildings here.
Wait, so this is me not sure if I misunderstood as a player. do we have to fashion the boats, or are we getting the boats pre-made out of the remains of the fish people who were here before?
The truth of the answer is you're not exactly sure. There's supposed to be boats around, but the boats would be made out of the skin of these things anyway. So
Right.
it's possible you'll go in and you'll find boats and bodies, or it's, I guess, possible you only find bodies.
Yeah,
Fact.
I mean, we don't.
We
There
don't
was a
know.
building that
Okay.
was on the coast that looked like it could have stored boats, but as I said, it's probably a bit too risky to go for that unless it's a last resort type deal.
Well,
Right.
I think we should go in and then we figure it out when we're in the safety and confinement of a secluded room instead of. Well, I mean, we're in an alley, but I think that's a little bit more secure for a conversation.
Right. Let's get in there. We can bar the door, make plans from there. Worst case scenario, we make a quick escape. I have darkness. I could cast it, give us a little bit of cover as we try to figure out what we're doing, if needed.
Okay. Let's find a nice little this corner right here. Over here. This looks like a spot people might not see it in. And so I go to like that spot where there's like that L shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, yep. And I put a little hole right there in that corner.
Okay. All right. So you're putting a hole in there first to look inside?
Well, hopefully to get through. It says a small passage, so we could
Oh
probably.
no, you
get through there.
can. You totally can. I just okay, gotcha.
No.
So you're
I'm
opening
doing
it
the
up
whole
to go
slope.
through.
I don't want to use up too many spells on this.
Okay. All right. So you go through that. It is pitch black, but once that thing opens, it just overwhelming. The smell of like rotting carcasses is completely overwhelming.
Stop. Holding my breath.
Who has dark vision? Who has dark vision?
I do.
Jakulu.
Fourth.
Yeah, cool.
I think
So
almost
Greta,
everyone
you
but
can.
Max.
Okay. Well, everyone with dark vision can see that there are piles and piles of what looks like maybe 50 or more bodies in this room. They do all look like humanoid fish creatures. There are also in the corners, if you like put your head in under this terrible smell, there are actually two boats. Now, one of the boats is broken in half. And as you start to go through and look, this is how the boats are made. So the boats are made from the skin of the actual humanoid fish people, whatever they are, and then the bones of them look like they're light and maybe even hollowed out, and those are fastened as basically reinforces.
Are these
So it's
boats like the
essentially
shape of like rowboats or canoes or kayaks? What's
they're the shape of small canoes.
So we
still
would
have the
probably
needle.
need
They are
to.
slender. They are slender enough to just get through your passage. The problem though is that they look like they're not very sturdy. It looks like the skin could easily be cut or
Fuck.
could easily be like ripped. So getting them out without snagging on something could theoretically be a problem.
Shit.
It also means that you're pretty kind of exposed when you're in a boat like this.
Anybody have mending?
We have the needle emitting.
Oh, we do.
That'll come in handy.
Yeah.
I think last time
And-
I gave it.
So let me know if anybody does decide to go in because I'll open this up here.
Yeah. So Chris, Max is just gonna be keeping a watch while all this is going on. So
Cool.
he's gonna climb up onto the roof here and just survey.
Okay, cool.
Shakulu puts a hand on Grenda's shoulder and thank you. And then he looks at the rest of the party and he holds up his spear and he like mumbles, "Should I clear the building? Make sure no one's in there?"
Do you want me to turn on the lights?
Light would be very visible. Even if any leaks out, I'd rather go in.
It's
Right.
obviously not this big. I just did this so you can put your miniatures in there just in case.
Why doesn't
The opening is just here.
Umbra or I should go in first? I'm presented as a drow. Umbra's invisible. It would probably be easiest for us to spot that instead of you risking it. So.
I'm not invisible yet, and also
Oh.
I don't have dark vision.
Oh, I forget.
All right, but I'm just
I'll
saying
go in.
you
No,
going
still
in.
Add
Okay.
human eyes.
Also, Umbra is holding onto someone's hand because he can't see.
Um,
Yep.
Sio will stick her head in and very slowly start crawling in,
Okay.
and
All right.
she'll keep an eye out,
All right,
see if
Sue.
anyone else is in here.
So
It's
Sue,
stinky in there.
yeah, it smells terribly. You go through and it's actually a much more concentrated smell from the inside. You get to around here, CO, and you actually see a stirring. One of these humanoid fish people stands up, clearly still dead, and looks at you in the corner. It's pretty unnerving. He's right here and staring at you. But he's been cut up. So, for instance, he's been disemboweled. So he's got essentially fish guts hanging from his stomach. He's also missing an eye, and half of his mouth is all messed up. But he is now staring at you. And he very slowly says, "Shh, come here, come over here."
Question. So with Kirigi, Kiri has been able to communicate with other people in the party, correct? Telepathically?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Sio will quietly take Kiri out of the papoose because he was straight napping. She's
Yep.
gonna put him back at the hole and will telepathically tell him to go scurry to Erastus and let him know that I'm talking to a dead, disemboweled fish person. Um, and she's going to very quietly um, go over to that person.
Okay. I'm just using the frog miniature so we have a placement. Keep in mind,
Bodies.
this whole room is just filled with bodies. So as you slowly walk, you not only have to walk over bodies, but like some of them are like basically compounded. So there's like a valley that goes through to him.
Mhm.
So you have bodies on all sides of you essentially. And he stands up and walks over, and he says, "So I have a job or a deal for whoever you people are. I'll make it worth your while. Do we hate Drow?"
Dude,
Wait, did he ask me, do we hate drow?
Yes.
don't you look like a drow?
I do, in fact, look like a drow.
Yep.
I have no qualm with them. I see they've done many people harm, and that is not good.
He says, "Well, Tiefling,
Mm,
are you sure you hate Drow?"
What are you, and how do you know us?
He says, "We're going to be great friends, but first, I need to know how much do you hate the Drow?" And the fish thing smiles.
I don't like that. um, Chris, would it be possible for her to communicate this to Kirigi?
Yeah, you can say anything in your mind. Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, she's going to recite his end and her end. Um, and if Kirigi can relay that to Erastus as he scurried over to him, assuming he's not still asleep, she would like Kiri to do that.
Yeah.
I've told you honestly, I see they have wronged people extensively, you included. I'm willing to do what I have to go.
He chuckles and laughs at you. He says, "I'm I'm no I'm no fish."
Then what are you and why are you here?
He said, "I'm a friend. Don't worry. I'm a friend.
Friends
But I'm
don't.
only a friend to people who really, really hate the Drow."
Friends typically announce themselves, introduce themselves, and I have no friends to date who sit in a barren room of dead bodies.
He laughs and he says, "I wasn't sure you were from here, but now I know you're not from here. That's okay. That's okay. We can be great friends. But first, I need you to do something for me."
I'll be honest with you, friend. It will depend on what.
He says, I saw you. I saw you and your friends. I saw you sneaking around. I saw you all the way from where I am up on the other side. And I think that we will be good friends, assuming you hate the drow as much as I do. And he says, do you want to know what we can do to those drow? Those evil, nasty drow? He says, no? Well, I'm going to tell you. He says, do you see those golden statues?
I did.
Right. This is what I need you to do. I need you and your friends to rush that pillar and do whatever it takes to knock the statues off of their centers. Knock them off the pillars, knock them off the area, especially the one that looks like it's some kind of abomination. You know, the demon abomination. Knock it off. We'll take care of the rest.
We.
He said, that's right. You have a ton of friends here. It's not just me. I'm not a fish.
I might be a simple person, but I have pieced that much together. What
He says,
are you?
bring your friends in too. I know it's probably stinky in here, but whatever. Have them come in and talk to me too.
Look, I'm happy to oblige, but I need you to understand my qualm is not with the drow. My qualm is with my brother being here and being unsafe. And I don't exactly see how I can get to him any faster by knocking down statues of chaos gods.
He said, drop that silly costume. Let me see what you really look like. I can only see the outline.
There's no need. I don't mean you harm. I'm more worried
Well, he
about
says,
you.
how can I tell you if I've seen someone like your brother if I can't see you? Like, see those horns. That's about it.
Instead of dropping her visage, she's going to just, because she has Mask of Many Faces, so she can cast
Yep.
Disguise Self at will. She's
Yep.
just going to disguise herself as her brother. Well, as she remembers seeing him 50
Okay, yeah,
years
no,
ago.
that's fine. That's totally fine. Yep. Yep. He says, that's what you look like? You don't sound like that's what you look like.
It's what my brother looks like. Last I saw him. He's about 70 now, though. So forgive my poor rendering.
He says, well, yeah, he says, well, this is awkward and interesting. Um, tell you what, you do what I ask, I'll tell you where your brother is.
I already know where he is. I don't need that. I need to get to him faster than this. Can you do that?
Sure. Sure.
We might consider. And at that, she's going to ask Kiri to quietly convey to the party to come in. So she would have him tell Erastus first, and then Kiri would scurry to everyone else and convey that as needed.
Okay. All right.
Well, friend, before my companions join us, you have a name, I imagine. Care to share?
He says, I'll tell you my name, but it's not my real name. You'd be foolish to give anyone your real name down here. But I will tell you my name. How badly
And
do you want to know my name?
I mean, I'm not going to give you gold or an arm for it. I figured we're friends. You could give me
What about
that
knocking over
much.
the statue? You knock over the
Um,
statue, I give you my name.
I'd rather you give me expedited passage to my brother rather than something as trivial as a false name.
I can't until you knock over the statue.
I'm gonna
Uh,
walk up next to Co.
I can't even get on the island until you knock over the statue.
Then why don't you give us a little more insight on exactly what the statues are doing? That is so important. We have to risk life and limb.
He says, all right, fine, fine. He sighs. And so, Erastus, you would probably, a matter of fact, not just that, but Pan too, you would probably notice this as well. This is some kind of long range necromantic spell that is able to not only animate a dead body but also see through it, it's it's probably powerful magic. You don't have to make a check on all this. That's just what you know instinctively. If you do want to make an Arcana check, you kind of have to like obviously inspect him and stuff, which means that he's going to know you're doing it. But that's what you guys would see otherwise. You can't use your passive investigation in this Erasmus unless you actually want to go up to him and start like looking at him and very obviously like investigating him.
Well, my helmet's up, so he can't see me. I'm just
Yeah,
like a
you just have to
masked
go over.
ghost.
You literally just have to go over and basically you have to do real like touch work. Investigation is always touch, so you just have to like figure this out through being close to him and like doing small things. It doesn't necessarily have to be touch, but it's whatever you role play, but it just has to be within touch.
Okay.
Like taking
Um,
small samples of him, for instance, stuff like that. Yeah.
He's strung up, like, right?
No, that's the thing. He's walking and standing on his own 2 feet.
Okay. But very clearly should be dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sio's seen
And
weirder
very
shit. He's
clearly
not questioning.
very clearly the body is so decayed that it shouldn't even be able to support itself, but it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Sio's seen weirder things. She's not questioning it. Her focus is on her brother.
said-
I'm
he
not.
said-
I'm not that worried with it.
Okay, he says, I'll tell you this. You came into the middle of a very, very difficult situation for anyone who is in my position. Grast, a great demon lord of the abyss, has had his place challenged by that abomination that you see up there, that golden statue. These drow, they are part of that abomination. You take the statue, get it off of that container, and we'll do the rest.
Did you ask who the statue depicts, Sio?
I mean, we've been able to piece that together. Specifically, our focus is on the abomination, which I only know, I guess, out of them. Would Sio know what, we know what Luxis looks like, but, the other one that came to her and Azriel, does she know what that one
That
looks like or just their
right.
voice?
So the only description you ever heard was Kino and you actually had a talk about this, right, Tyler? Didn't you guys have a talk about Luxis and what you had saw?
Yeah. And Sio
Uh,
saw
That
with
if you
Kino.
did, that does match a little bit about what the statue is you're looking at. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of
yeah.
Eliza Zeep was the one that Sio and Azriel, that one
This is not
spoke to
Eliza
them.
Z. Yeah, this is not Eliza Z.
So,
Yeah.
well,
The
I was more so asking, would Sio even know what Eliza Zeep looks like? She knows their
No.
presence, but not their
Nope. No one knows what
visage.
no one knows what Eliza Z looks like yet.
Okay, cool.
That is correct. But Luxis, the only person that's ever seen a vision of Luxis was Kino, and I believe he actually gave you a description.
Well,
yeah, I
Eliza
That's
Zeep's
explained.
visage. Well, didn't we both see it when you were in the tomb with us and you had confronted Sio about being a warlock? And then the visage of Eliza Zeep showed up in the tomb.
I
Oh,
don't
that
know
yeah,
if everyone
that
saw it.
was, and not only that, there's more. That don't worry about. We'll talk about that later. There's way more complication to what you guys saw with the
Oh.
Eliza visage. But what I'm talking about is another situation where, so Kino personally, you never saw it, but Kino personally did actually get a vision of Luxis. I thought during the private conversation you guys had that Kino relayed that information, but Tyler would have to tell me if that's really true or not.
No, I did explain what Luxis looked like. I don't know, because right after I explained and kind of introduced the idea of Luxis to Group B, when Pirvin was still here,
Right.
it showed up like a ghostly
Right.
image.
Exactly.
I don't know if it just showed up for me and Pirvin, but it did show up.
Yep.
So.
Yep. At that point, it showed up for just you and Pyramid, exactly. So, okay, cool. So, anyway, he will tell you. He'll blatantly tell you. He's like that golden statue, the one that is male and female, demon and non-demon. That's Luxis. Luxis is awful. Luxis is stain, mistake, and I'm asking you to take that statue, and I'm asking you to shove it on the ground. I will take care of everything else.
Can I
Why can't
insight
you
that?
do it?
You can incite it, of course.
I would love to.
Now you are keep in mind that you are inciting a dead visage of whoever is actually talking. So so the DC is different. But I will tell you what you get from it.
Can I provide
From
myself
the voice.
guidance? I don't really
Yep.
care if he sees me do that or not.
Yeah.
I want to do insight as well.
Go for it.
Plus 1d8.
Well, I, for
Yeah.
one, would love to knock over the statues.
Yeah, so would I. I'm just a little confused.
Me too. Why can't you do it? You're going to be able to overrun this whole place, but you can't knock over a statue.
That's the problem. He says, I'll tell you. I'll be forthright. Since you're doing us a great favor. We
Not that
can't
real.
actually invade the island or touch the island while that ridiculous statue is up. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you witnessed the whatever it is happening that stops us from down there, but there is a drow woman who can certainly summon meta magic, and we know that it's tied to those ridiculous statues.
Is that the statue? That statue, is it what makes the anti-magic field?
No,
Oh, damn it.
no,
But-
the statues themselves, though, are powering this entire village and making it so we can't even walk into it. He's like, I can give you all of this. I can explain all this better if you just take the statues and knock them off their pillars.
And who is we again? I'm
Right.
sorry, but you're asking a lot of. You're asking,
Holy warriors of Grizit.
okay, I don't think you
Oh.
really know what the word holy means.
Or Grizzit, for that matter.
Like,
And-
Max will just speak up from the back. How much are you asking us to shove these statues? Just a little bit, or off
No,
their
they
pedestals?
need to fall. They need to fall. They need to fall,
Okay.
but everything that we know is that they're not secured. You
Uh,
can do it. You're strong. I can sense it.
Chris, can I make a history check to see how, like, if it's a good idea to be making deals with Grizit
Yeah, sure.
and his
Of
people?
course. Yeah, of
Would that be
course, yeah.
history check?
You can do a history check.
Also, Chris,
This is
Max,
hard.
Max got a
Grazit's
12
not
on
actually super well known. Yep.
Max got a 12 on insight. CO got a 19.
All right.
I'm
So this is what you would
plastic
know.
that to a 28,
Okay.
Chris.
Okay. On a 28, you would definitely know that Grazit is, in theory, the most powerful demon lord of the abyss. There are rumors that Grazit was not actually a born demon, but a devil. You have heard another rumor that he actually did have a child with Igwilf. Igwilf manipulated him and essentially raped him, and also basically took a bunch of his power to create the Demonomicon. This is all rumor. You're not sure if this is true or not. But that said, these are just things you remember. That said, she also had some kind of like deal with Grazit, which is the only thing that made him famous. These are all rumors and conjectures from a book that supposedly Elminster himself wrote that you got to read. You're not sure if it's true or not. It's never been confirmed.
But it doesn't say anything like making deals with
But it
this
says that no,
guy.
he's not trustworthy. He's not trustworthy. No.
Okay.
No, he's actually the god, and it actually would tell you, the same story would tell you that he's the god of excess. He's the god of luxury, excess, lies, but he's also the god of like pleasure in the abyss. Grazit.
So he's not trustworthy, and he's excessive and very vindictive and powerful.
But you could also see why he would absolutely hate Luxis.
Uh-huh.
Luxis would
And
be a
Lots
big
of God.
problem for Grazit. Yeah.
So once again, Group B, we're between a demon and a chaos place.
I mean, demons are chaos things, but it's one that we're familiar with and one that seems to have come out of nowhere.
I think right now we're choosing between the lesser of two evils, so I'm willing to make
Yeah,
a
I'm
deal.
just getting real goddamn sick of that.
Not like a deal, like I'm not shaking any hands, but
Max is
Like
just
it.
going to step outside and keep watch to make sure no one walks by this.
So we're making another deal with another horrible person. Okay.
no, we're making this deal to undo the first deal we did.
Yeah.
Because
so
frankly,
are
this
you
asshole
seeing a
has it
fucking
coming.
trend?
My concern is I don't understand how you can say we can't make it to the other island if the statues are still standing, but my brother is already there.
Yeah, out of character, obviously your choice is you have two choices: help him or don't help him. And clearly you can make it to the island theoretically because your brother did.
Yeah, the CO absolutely brought that up in character that
Yep.
that that doesn't make sense, and she's certain he is over there, so
Yeah, and he'll respond and he'll say, your brother was careful and resourceful. He said you can also be careful and resourceful, but then you are making an enemy out of me.
I don't think we need any more enemies at the moment.
Just want to clarify, he's talking about the statues that are closest to us, correct?
That's
That are
right.
Yeah.
knocked
The
over?
4 statues here. Yeah,
Yep.
that is correct.
but he's saying
Okay.
we only need to topple the one of Luxis, or we need to topple all 4?
So if you ask him to clarify, he says that you do need to topple all 4, but he wants
Fuck.
you to try to take out the Luxis one first, but you probably need to do all 4. He doesn't know for sure.
Look, on principle, I'm very against helping followers of the demon lord. So just gonna put that out there. I feel like that's not a strange position to take.
Quick question, Chris. From where I am, can I see the sorceress lady? Because
No.
there's
Well,
a
I'm
token up
sorry.
there.
Maybe. If are you not inside the building? Let's see where
No,
you are.
I stepped out
Wait,
and hopped
yeah,
on
you
top again to take watch.
gotcha. That's right. Yes, you can. You can see her.
Okay. And are there drow sort of wandering around and
So
such?
there are 7 male drow that have just now taken the other 4 male drow out of the devices that are clearly dead, and they
Okay.
are walking them over to this side here, where they're probably going to dispose of the bodies, but walking them over to the water in this area over here.
Okay. Is there any drow around the area of the statues here?
No,
Okay.
nope.
So I have an idea if we want to go through with this. I can polymorph someone into some big animal that's very strong that can, like a T-Rex. I can knock the statues over. Plus, it would give you a bit of extra HP, strength to do this and maybe take a couple hits. Maybe Erastus or whoever.
Well, that is a viable option. I agree with the Rasus. There is the potential that we can just do this on our own. Granted, we would need to be excessively cautious, and as she says that, she'll cast a sidelong glance to the minion of Grizzit since we don't have a name.
Yep.
I think it would behoove us to not align ourselves with anyone else at the time. Although I will leave that to the rest of you. And then
I
Uh,
agree.
I have an idea that might allow us some other assistance across the water, but I'd rather not discuss it with present company. And Shakulujet like points his chin at the fish corpse.
Yeah, I'm leaving this one.
I'm worth it's worth stating I'd be happy to, once we make it to the other side, consider toppling the statue from there, since it does seem as though they have armaments that are long ranged. Would that satisfy, friend?
He said, yeah, he says, we would have done that already. We need someone on the inside. He says, do whatever you want, but if you do it, you'll have to come back over to the other side and do it here. You will not be able to teleport or gain entry into this village uh, once you leave. You'll see why.
And what do we get for this?
Some
You're telling
Friends,
us what we have to do for you. What are you going to do for us?
Mm-hmm.
you get powerful friends, the holy warriors of Grizit.
I'm liking this deal. I think it sounds pretty nice.
We already have friends in low places. We don't need to sink lower.
We're in the abyss. We could use allies.
You can give us a boat that will go on the water and will tip over.
Oh, he
Sturdier
says,
boat.
yeah,
Safe
if you
passage.
if you do this, I'll give you safe passage to the other side, all the boats you could ever use.
You're just promising so easy.
Yeah, Chris, from Max's 12 and CO's 19, were we able to discern anything from our insight checks if
What you
he's being
do
truthful?
what you do understand, there's nothing you can read from body language or from the actual facial machinations of this thing because it is undead and it's a construct and essentially it's going through it. However, what you can read through his voice is that he seems to be measuring his words carefully, and he does seem to be incredibly eager to tell you what you want to hear.
I agree with Gretna. You're a little too even keeled for something you seem insistent on, and it does appear as though you're only telling us what we want to hear.
He says, "Suit yourself." He
Do you have
says,
any?
He says, "Do you want to do this or not? Give me some kind of answer. We
Do
didn't
you have
need you
any?
anyway."
Do you have any allies within the city?
He says, "I'm sure we'll find one." So, even the male drow themselves, we're starting to understand, are not treated very nicely. And you hear him like laugh, even though the thing kind of chuckles a little bit, but he laughs hard. He's like, I'm sure one will break sooner rather than later."
Well-
Chris.
Yep.
During this time, I've moved over to here. Can I? There's no male drow patrolling this area still.
No, they've all left at this point with the bodies, and then the woman is over here doing something. Looks like they're giving them some kind of funeral, like things, last rites, maybe something like that. You're not exactly sure though. But no, there's no drow over in this side, and you could, yeah, I mean, you have a straight shot right now. You could jump kick one of those statues.
um,
I'm gonna. Can I stealthily make my way over to them?
Yeah,
Oh no.
of course. Yep, you can.
oh no.
Yep.
It was nice knowing you,
Yeah,
Matt.
go ahead and do a stealth check,
Too soon,
just
after
in
you
case.
already died.
That was almost a natural one, but a 23.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah, so you can easily make your way over to the statues, and
Okay.
what would you like to do?
Can I maneuver my way into the very middle of them?
Yes.
And can I just sort of climb myself up them to the very sort of around the shoulder height of the statues?
Yeah,
And
they are
then,
close enough that you could. Yep.
yeah, and then a hand on two hands on one and my legs on the other two. I
Yep.
just want to push out on all of them at
Yeah,
once.
just do strength. Just do a strength check on this. But absolutely, yep.
Not athletics.
You can do athletics. I'll let you do athletics.
That's a natural 20 for a 25.
Oh my
All
god.
right. So
The
so
fuck?
as you guys are talking, you actually hear the loud thudding of all of these statues like literally fall to the ground all at once. You do this perfectly in the sense that you actually also like flip and land perfectly in the center. As the statues fall, this
So just
no, you guys can't see any of this because you're inside, but this is what you do see. You see this, Max. As the statues fall, there are literally what look like 30 or so you think mages because they teleport in with what looks like black oily armor, and they just lay slaughter. Like they actually ambush the drow woman, who does try to fight back, but they are just literally beheading the drow men. She only lasts for a couple seconds. They start cutting through, and they are now systematically going through the entire town. Now the alarm's been set where people are screaming, whatever.
so,
They start funneling out. There's a full scale war going on, but these guys are literally laying waste to them.
just out of game real quick, just so I understand what just happened.
Yep.
We were coming to the conclusion, it seemed, heading in the direction of we didn't want to work with this guy. And then
And now we're
Max
working
just
with this
knocked
guy.
over Max just knocked over
Yeah.
the
That was
insight.
amazing.
You remember
Yeah.
that scene in Guardians of the Gallery when Groot is like grabbing the thing when they're doing the prison escape? That's kind of what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Exactly.
Um,
yeah.
So
and,
Shakulu seizes
oh
the
my God.
opportunity and like stomps forward, pushing a couple
Oh.
people in the party, and says, "You got your end. Give us ours."
Yeah, and
still
he
can't
he
see.
does. The corpse just falls to the
Fucking
ground. The
guys,
corpse literally
fucking-
falls to the ground. As those statues went down, the corpse had fallen to the ground. So
What
you
happened?
kind of get
What
that
the-
in right as it's going through.
Yeah.
And
What the
uh,
fuck
and, and
just
as
happened? What the fuck just
And I
happened?
quickly dash up over this way.
What?
Yeah, and so more and more of
Guys.
these things start teleporting in, and they literally are now going house to house and just basically like taking up. People are still they're still basically putting up a fight. Also, as this is happening from across this corner, another Drow priestess basically comes out screaming with a bunch of men, and she gets ambushed too. She is fearsome. You see all this, so you actually see like these very large fireballs and other like very what looks like intense magic fighting. She also only lasts 30 or so seconds. The entire fight is over in 2 minutes, literally, almost to the minute, and basically you see these cloaked men that are all like standing um and you hear a voice say, "You can come out now."
Guys, what the fuck?
I hop down and say,
What happened?
"We want
Yeah.
to grab the boats now."
Shakulu
So-
opens the front door and just
No,
looks
no,
out.
So
oh
a
my
very
God.
large a very large black skin looks like it's probably demonic entity or whatever walks over to you, Max, because he sees you go down. He says, "Wait, hold, come closer," and he has his hand extended
All
out
right,
to you.
I'm gonna need a minute.
Can I
Like, I'm
sense
trying to
if
keep
he's
fucking-
trying to be what's the right word? Hostile
No, it doesn't.
intentions.
It doesn't look like it. You don't have to do an insight check. He's got his sword to his side. And he's got his hand extended.
Okay.
We've all walked out at this point. The guy said, "Come on out." It's like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, you can if you want to. It's up to you. Yeah.
yeah. I'll
Okay.
come
Let
out.
me get the hell out of here.
I'll
It's dark.
I won't shake his hand, but I'll
I somehow
I'll
got on the
say-
other side of the wall.
I'll just say, "You're welcome." Now, can you aid us in what we came here for?
Says, "You did very, very, very well, friend." He says, "Normally, I'll give you." He says, "I'll give you some advice. Normally, you would never want to make a deal with someone like me, but today is your lucky day. These little pests have been a thorn in our side for years. You did a really, really good job, and I will give you what you want. You want boats? What do you want?"
We just want to find her brother, really, right?
We want
Wait, I
we
don't know,
want to
that's Theo.
find. We came to the abyss to find Theo's brother. So if you could,
But there's also a shard that we're looking for.
He looks
right?
like really, really confused. He says, "Sio's brother."
Span. And a shard
tiefling.
of stone speaking or something. Two
Yes.
things.
Hello. I am
Right?
I am the seeker. Yes, hello. I hold up the shard.
He chuckles at you. He says, oh." He says, "Well, I." He says, You probably you probably better luck in getting maybe this woman's brother than some kind of there are lots of things down in the abyss." He says, "I've heard of this speaker thing. It's a fairy tale. I wouldn't bother with it." But he says, what who is CO, and why should we care about her brother?"
I don't know.
It's
His
Figure
men,
it out.
his
He
men
was-
have now followed. His men have now followed back on him. Each one of them looks like a very, very skilled, fearsome warrior. This is the very first time. If you guys are matching up people, this is the very first time that these guys look like they could wreck you. They actually look really powerful, and there's 30 to 40 of them. He looks particularly powerful. As a matter of fact, and you're close enough to him, Max. His sword is made out of some kind of silver that tends to move with the blade. So it's almost like it's mercury or something. You've never seen something like this before. It looks nasty. Well, but
Mm.
he says so he says so CO, and he's looking around.
Yeah. At this
We
point,
we
Sia
came
will.
down to the abyss to find her brother, and frankly, I have been down here before, and I think for my friends and myself, we don't want to stay here for too long, so we want to just get what we came for and get out.
Yep,
Yeah.
and he does. So he points and he says, "Well, uh, he says, you're looking for another tiefling." He points to you,
Yes.
CO. He says that those disguises don't work down here. I hope you know, demons are not so easily fooled. Drow.
Yeah. At this point, as soon as Sio heard the party yell to her, because as soon as that thing dropped, and I imagine we were able to piece together the statues fell by our hand. For the first time since we got to the abyss, like Sio has slowed down. And as
Yep.
Gretna had called for her, she would step out, but she's for the first time not paying attention and is just looking in horror at the fucking carnage
Yep.
around us
This
and
was
is
so
not
unnecessary.
responding.
Yeah, they're drow. It's okay.
Well, he sees that you're concerned with this, and he says these are terrible, terrible people, and he smiles, and he says, "Yeah, I forget sometimes that people, visitors, have such strange and very soft sensibilities, um, but you were looking for your brother?"
Chris,
This
is one of the drow ladies over here?
Yeah, you can start looking through her stuff. The only problem is that uh they're all surrounded by other men that are like picking through the stuff as well. So you can certainly try. But the problem is that there's 30 that you could see, but of course all those people that ambush the other people are still around and doing things, presumably looting bodies. So
Look, it's done. Let's just get the fuck boat and go.
I'm just going to noticing CO's sort of, what's the right word? The way she's taking in this scene. I'll walk over to her, put my hand on her shoulder, and just say, "I'm sorry you had to see a sight like this, but down here, you've got to do whatever you can to make sure you can get out."
you have a smart friend.
Sia
He's
will look
right.
to. She's gonna look to Max and to the. I'm assuming he's some sort of general of some kind. You know, they say the same thing about tieflings in the overworld, that we deserve to die. They're people just as much as we are. And she's going to look to you, Max. And for the first time, Casillo's been pretty upbeat and happy, especially towards you since you've joined us. And she's going to take your hand off of her shoulder and she's going to give you just a look, not of disgust, but she's pieced together that you toppled the statues. And she's just going to give you a look of like just grief and sadness, and will remove your hand from her shoulder. And as she tries to compose herself, she'll tell them that yes, we're
Who
looking
speaks
for my brother.
Abyssal? Who speaks Abyssal, by the
Yeah,
way?
I'll go stand near.
I do.
Sia as well. So-
Max does.
No,
Chekulu
Alright.
does.
I have comprehend languages, but if enough people speak it, we're good.
No, I'm asking because he says quickly in Abyssal, "Bring out the tiefling." This has gone on far enough.
What?
Come again?
Sia does.
And
There's-
as he says that, one of the people that were fighting starts running back to the shoreline.
Sia,
Yes.
I'm sorry, but this is better on my hands than on yours. You have a full life ahead of you, and you shouldn't have to taint yourself with this whole mess.
She's not going to look at you, but she will respond. Max, they may have had a life ahead of them too. Then she's just going to shake her head. And she doesn't know Abyssal, so she's just standing in front of this general confirming that her brother is here and we're looking for him so we can leave.
Oh,
And as this conversation's going, you see two of the men black skinned as well. This is the first time that you notice. Everyone notices, but they do have tiny horns. The horns are red, but in the dark, like light, even with dark vision, for some reason the horns are still colorless, even though they are indeed red sometimes when they hit the light. And two guards bring over your brother and literally throw him in front of you. And he said, "Today is your lucky day, little girl. We were going to execute this piece of trash. Tell them why." And your brother like looks at you dumbfounded, and he looks up at you, Sio, and he says, "What are you doing, Sio? What are you doing? I told you this was dangerous."
She's mouth open, tears, like not sobbing, but just like tears have just started falling down her face.
Yeah, he takes his like mercurial sword, whatever it is, that he puts it up and he points to the tiefling and he says, "I'm serious. Tell her why."
I'm curious.
And your brother looks at you and he like grimaces and he says, "This is a really bad situation, Sio. I stole from them." He's like, "That's right. Tell him. Tell her. Tell her." And he looks back and he says, uh, I stole and I killed one of them." And he says, "That's the only reason you're alive, my friend." I'm actually impressed by that, but listen, he's like, "You've done us a favor. I'm willing to make amends. You have done us a great service." Um, he says, and he pulls out from his like pouch that he has on him, and he throws a fingernail to the ground on top of you, like right next to right next to your brother, Sio. And he says, "Tell you what, you bring this to the surface. You get out of here. Bring this back up to the surface. I will pretend this never happened. Take that sorry excuse of a tiefling with you, and we'll call it a day. I can't help you get out. That's beyond my power. But I assume if you have a way in, you must have a way out, and we won't kill you."
Deal.
Shakalu looks at Umbra and like tries to whisper to him, "Do we have a way out?"
Umber's just gonna do like a little very nervous nod, like I think so.
I'll
He's
help
also a
Van
little
up.
sad too.
I'm gonna help Van up, and I'll just say, "Hey, Van, been a while."
He right now so his hands are still tied behind his back, by the way. As you help him up, he like mouths to you to like undo his bindings.
You guys got a key for these, or
It looks like it's some kind of weird rope, by the way, that is
no? Then I'll just
slightly glowing.
I'll
Yeah.
take the I'll take my one of my enchanted weapons and cut it.
Okay.
Just
All right.
free him.
All right. Great. So
Jeez.
as you free him, do me a huge favor and everyone roll for initiative. Don't worry.
Oh God.
We're not
I
getting in
knew it.
combat. Don't worry. We're not
Oh
getting
my
in. We're
God,
not getting
dude.
in combat. Don't worry. We're not
What?
getting in combat. I need to know who is faster. This is initiative roll to see who's faster. Now, currently, you can draw your sword if you want to.
Guys, I'm gonna
But-
fucking stop playing because every
But,
time I do something.
Go ahead and roll initiative.
Last
No,
time I did,
like I said,
I
this is-
did one thing. It was like, and your armor stops working.
Oh my god.
Wait, what's happening?
Someone-
He's gonna fucking run. He's gonna fucking run.
No, just roll initiative just to see who's faster, essentially.
I got an 11 for initiative.
That might be
Yeah.
tops.
It's not us.
That's Shakulu.
Yes.
Dude.
Do you have any idea how scared he is right now? Of course he's
These
first.
These sessions have been rough.
Actually, no, I'm gonna wait. It's not
Okay.
worth it.
All right. So, what was the highest roll?
23.
23. Okay. So Shakilia, you're the only one that can act in this scenario. Did anyone else get above a 15?
No,
Just
No.
one person got above
it
a
was,
15?
it was just Shakulu.
Okay. All right, that's fine. All right, so Shakola, you can act too. Where is your miniature? Right here. So he's over here as well. So he actually grabbed the fingernail, and as he's saying this, he said, "I told you to stay out of this. Why are you even here?" And you see, as he grabs the fingernail, you see him basically like bursting into flames, but it's not a situation where he's burning. It's some kind of effect. As he does that, the demon lord starts cackling like in absolute laughter. And Shakula, you can act at any time doing whatever you want, but the demon lord says, "I can't believe he took it. It's like he's leaving without you. Look at this. This is great." He points back to his other comrades. You have 6 seconds. You have 1 round of action, Shakula. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna believe the Demon Lord. I'm going to rush Ben and beat the shit out of him.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
I mean, you have the movement. So here's the thing: you have the movement, but you have to take like this is a 6-second round where you're taking an action.
Caleb,
You can grapple, you can attack. This is just like that's why initiative was important here. What do you actually want to do? Do you want to try to grab him or grapple him,
I want
or
to
do you want to
try
actually hit him?
the spear is the best thing I got. I want to try to beat it
Dude, fucking
to
Shakulu's done.
What
to
if
get
what
to
if
get
you item?
the fingernail out of his hand. I want to try to get the
Oh, okay.
fingernail.
That's
Yeah.
that's different. So tell me exactly what you want your character to do. That's a super. By the way, there are no called shots but in these situations, I have a workaround. Tell me exactly what you want to do and how you want to do it, and we will resolve
Haley's
it.
screaming in the other room like.
Take a step forward. Take a step forward and swing, and try to cut his hand in some way so that he drops the fingernail.
Oh, so you are going to use the spear end. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Okay. All right. Do me a huge favor. First make your roll to hit.
Okay.
And this is a higher DC because it's a called shot. So, but go ahead and make your roll to hit.
No.
All right. So
Okay.
what do you? Oh, you
20.
20. Okay. All right. So you are you are able to just get on his wrist as this is happening. What roll your damage and let's see if you got it enough to disrupt this.
Oh no, I don't think I did.
Okay, so this is what everyone sees. So Shakula takes the spear. God, I was hoping you rolled a 1. That would have been epic. But anyway, Shakila takes the spear, and he does lodge it right into his hand, and in like fierce agony, he's looking at you as this happens. He doesn't drop it, but he swats you as it's doing this, and there's a huge burst of like flame and pillar, and he leaves. Shakulu, however, you're still there with the spear, and you actually feel like a tug initially of getting in, but you're able to resist it, and he wouldn't have taken you anyway. Whoever this guy is starts laughing hysterically. He's like, oh, I love your brother. I love your brother. He looks at you, CO. He's like, I was feeling bad killing this guy. This is great. And he says, well, there you have it. Our work is done. Unless you would like to do anything foolish, I think we can go our separate ways.
All right, I'm done.
I'm just curious about some of these bodies. Can we loot some of them? Because I've been looking for a diamond for a while.
You can
I
certainly
don't
try.
care about
Right, now
Drow, really
read the
don't.
room.
I
Yeah, you
also
can certainly
speak
try.
Abyssal.
There's a bunch of bodies, but there's also a bunch of these
I
warriors
don't
that
want
are
to
going
fight
through it.
them. I just want something that I
Yeah,
can,
guys, Theo's obviously really messed up right now. Let's
Yeah,
focus on that.
as
I-
soon as Van gets in her face,
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done too. That just really beat the will loot.
We left the
Yeah.
Sahara's for this. We went
Yeah.
through the fault for this guy. We went, we didn't save those poor people up in the island for this guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
your brother's a
Sorry.
piece of work.
Yeah, sorry, Theo. I think
Theo, at that point, when her brother got in her face and then disappeared, fell to her knees and is openly wailing.
all
Her
right,
whole
I'm gonna
growth
pick her
is
up
shattered.
and just pat her on the back. Yeah, I think it's time to go home.
Ah, yeah.
Yep, right.
We
Uh-huh.
got him.
He
We
says-
got him.
I am. I'm gonna look around
he-
for like
he
see
looks
if these guys
he
will
looks
give me
at
a diamond.
Theo. He looks at Theo being like, and he looks at you. He looks at you, Max, and he says, how important is this tiefling woman to the group?
It's important.
She's
Yes, very.
she's important.
She's a
He
member of our family.
He says, listen, little dwarf. That's right, dwarf. Listen. I was talking to the important member, your leader, and he looks at you, Max, and he says, how important is she?
First off, I'd like to clarify that I'm not their leader, and second off, she's part of our family, so she's very important to us. So if you lay even one finger on any of us, I will personally come
okay.
after you myself.
He looks at you and
Okay.
he says, no. He says that's not necessary. He says, no. He looks over at you, Theo, and he says, listen, your brother is an agent of demons. There's no reason to cry over someone so storied. And he looks back and he says, I'm doing this as a favor because your leader, and he looks back at you, Max, did something that all of you should have done anyway. But I'm happy that you made that amazing decision and that you had these people to back you up. And you can tell he's being a little condescending to you, Max, but at the
Yep.
same time, he is also he is also like recognizing you as someone that basically he respects. And he says, also, he says, I smell something on you. He says, you smell different, but it's none of my business anyway. Listen. Your brother's a demonic agent. Demonic agents, they can't be trusted, just like I can't be trusted. But today, and today only, I am going to follow my word. And like you can tell that the other people behind him are actually a little surprised by this. And he says, no, none of you, none of my men will touch you. And as he says that, by the way, there is a power that reverberates from his words. And you notice that all of the men behind him do shudder just a tad bit. Matter of fact, it seems to be spreading throughout. But he says, so you're safe with us. But this only goes for so long. My welcome will surely wear out. So take your time, pick up your things, and leave, and we'll call it a day.
Still
I'm
wailing.
gonna just-
Out of game. I am very surprised I went down this way. This was certainly one of the ways to solve this, and I'm happily surprised I went down this way. But this, I am surprised.
I think
She-
Chris, out of game, I think that just beat the will out of like 3 of your players.
I thought it was great.
She
Well-
only
I'm pretty
listen,
happy with the way it went too.
I was gonna say,
out of
out of game though, guys, that can't be a thing. Like, don't worry about that. Like, it's. I want to say something as well. I don't actually fault out of game. I don't fault Max for doing what he's doing. I understand what you're saying, Erasmus, but at the end of the day, this, and just to be very clear, you are in the abyss. You are fighting demons. Like you are like, I know you were complaining too about, oh, there's a demonic situation where there's two evil things, but you're in the abyss. That's so don't worry
Stop
about that. It's like
pick
it is.
sides.
Yeah.
Not wanting to pick sides. Want to stay out
Yeah.
of all of this shit.
Now, granted, I do think that was a very valid option and
Mm-hmm.
probably a smart option, but at the same time, this is, it is what it is. So,
Yeah, but it was epic. Like Max,
Oh,
holy
yeah,
shit,
all of it,
kudos. That was like cinematic. Like we're talking, and then we just hear thump, 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 and all the statues are over. Like that's
my point
amazing.
wasn't so much on the epicness of it; it was the group decision making. That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
point
No,
that I was trying to drive home.
and I think there's valid points to that too. I do think there's valid points to that. But at the end of the day, you guys already are in the abyss, which is a terrible situation. But I do
Yeah,
think
and
sense reason-
Max's thought process was he's been in here before. He wants to. You've got to take risks in here to get out. So
right.
Yeah.
Max is the only one out of
Not
the group that has
contesting
survived.
that. Not
Yeah.
contesting that.
Max in the group is the only one that actually has experience here and has survived, and also has personal reasons why. It doesn't matter though. Anyway,
Yeah.
so anyway,
Sakina, we still looking for the stone shard thing?
No, we need to leave.
Why not?
I am not here at the moment, but I am.
Kino's not here.
I'm sorry, Umbra.
Yes. Hello. Who was that?
So
I
Sia,
don't know. I get
one
people
of the things that you
confused.
notice as like Shakulo backs up, and as people start to go through, there is a small, what looks like charred but very visible piece of paper where your brother vanished.
Sio's still having her moment, wailing and sobbing, and she's going to very raggedly, like when you cry too much and you're having a hard time breathing, is going to look over to the individual who's been speaking to us and very brokenly will ask who sent him.
So you're asking that general guy who sent your brother?
Yes. Like between broken sobs. Who sent him?
He looks at you and he says, "Are you familiar with?" He said, "Tell me any demon that's from here, and I'll tell you who sent your brother."
CO's background has nothing to do with demons,
we went
save
to-
her lineage. So
I'm next to her. Can I whisper one in her ear?
like, is there one in particular? Tell me Luxis is not a demon, though. No?
No, he's
I'm,
not.
I'm just gonna
He's-
whisper. I'm gonna whisper Orcus into her ear.
Jesus Christ. So it doesn't matter. So so CEO, as you go through and as that happens, CEO leaves anyway. This is what we were talking about before, CEO. So you guys see that as this all goes down, as this is happening and going back and forth, CEO literally gets ripped out of reality, but it's much more violent this time. You saw this before. This time it was like Erastus, you're concerned. Like it did not look like it was nice.
Fucking.
And
Can I use the thing?
and so you can try, but give me 1 second. And so you see that she like literally gets like ripped all the way through, and as that happens and he sees this too, you guys see what looks like behind where this rip or tear in reality is. You see what looks like a large ornate mansion with a bunch of arcane symbols and a bunch of other like things that look like they could be maybe artificey things or knickknacks or something. Erasmus, you see this as well. And then that tear closes and basically just as if like nothing was there, but there is like a push of wind. Max and Shakula, you guys are strong enough that you don't have to like go prone or anything, but it was pretty violent.
Can I use the baby monitor?
Yeah, you can try. Certainly try. Yeah. So
I followed her into one.
right. So this is actually a different place that you've never been to. However, it is Victorian in nature, and it does have the same kind of like it does kind of look similar to what you guys saw. So even though this isn't the same location, you can still match it up as wherever it was when you were originally there. Yes. It definitely looks Victorian and some other stuff. So
well, I think
Erastus,
Concept.
is the only one who.
so Erastus, so you're gonna try to use the item, knowing that's where she went. Okay.
Well,
Alright.
yeah. She went to the. She went. It looked like what happened when she went to the other groups, right?
Kind of.
No.
It's a different area, but the background looks like that Victorian kind of thing. It does not look like.
Only Gretna, I think, is the only one who knows what that looks like because everyone else was from not
Oh, that's right.
our
Paige,
group.
did you ever do a warlock session? You never did.
No. He
Yeah,
has no
Paige,
idea
you
what
have
that
no
looks
idea.
like.
Yeah.
When
you
she
have
went
no
to the
idea.
other group.
Yeah, but there was no Victorian house. Like this is from the Warlock session where Gretna,
Right.
Oh
Ki-
yeah, we had the puzzles
Yeah, with
and everything.
Edward.
yeah. Gretna's
so
the only
that-
one who would recognize
So
it.
out of game are you just doing something that's already happened?
I don't know.
You'll have to wait and see.
Okay, then I'm
No,
doing it. It's a con save, right?
Yeah, it's a con save.
If she comes back and Erastus is dead, I just want you all to know that CO is.
I'm going to.
You guys going to
yeah.
become the BBEG?
I'm
Yeah, kind of figured.
Yes.
I'm gonna flash a genius that I only got one left after this to 29, and I'm going with it.
Yeah, that's fine. So Erastus,
And I went in my shell. I went in my shell before I did this.
that's fine. You're able to go with her, and I will resolve that after at the end of this session. You guys are just gonna have to stay behind for a bit. Anyway, so you guys are now there.
Intend that shit.
You guys are now there, and you're by yourselves. He saw this, and he looks at Shakulu and Max, and he says, "Well, aren't you gonna do the same thing? Like that's how you apparently got here."
They have their own devices. We have ours. We're leaving. And Shakulu,
Wait, maybe
Uh,
you-
And he says, just don't touch anything while you're here. My men are already picking things up, but don't go around stealing from us or anything.
That's why I asked if you had a diamond that we could have.
He says, no, we don't have diamonds. Why do you need a diamond, dwarf? Why do you need a diamond? And he looks at you.
Spells. It's a spell component.
He takes something out of his bag, and he says, "Come here, come here."
All right. Yeah.
oh God.
Come here, little dwarf girl. And you walk over to him.
Yeah.
He says, "Hold out your hands."
All right.
powered kill.
And
Yeah. Right.
and he sprinkles something in your hair. It looks like to be annoying. And then he takes a pinch of something and he puts it in your hands. And he says, there you go. Now waddle off. And as you look in your hands and go through it, sure enough, it does look like he's given you a little bit of diamond dust.
Thank you.
I'm standing in line behind her. I'm so excited.
He says,
I
and he noticed you, and he says, "No, I'm done." And he walks over.
Aw.
He walks over and he starts to like talk to his men and go through it. Anyone that actually knows Abyssal, what they're doing is he is now giving them orders to go through, canvas all the buildings, make sure everyone is killed. But he also wants to make sure that the area is completely desecrated so this never happens again. And they've already started that process. So
I wonder what.
Once I
Vansel-
recognize that he's stopped talking to his men, can I just head over and I want to just ask. You said I had this something on me before. What did you mean?
he said, he said, you stink of a false pretender. And he looks at you and he says, what is this false demon stink that you have on you?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, I've been to the abyss before and escaped, but
He says it even he says this even quieter, but you can tell he thinks this is hilarious. He's like, was your mother raped by a demon? Or is your mom raped by a demon? He's like, I don't know. It seems like your mom was raped by a demon. I've got better things to do.
Max's face is like
You can
in a
tell, by
state
the way,
of
you
in a state
can
of
actually tell
shock
that this guy,
and
you
anger.
can tell, you can also tell that he's very much not a nice person. Not just from what I'm saying,
You
but
don't
on top
say.
of this, it's if I was in person, I can convey this so much better. But he is basic. He's very like he's goading you, hoping to God that he can break his word and you will do something so that he can just rip your like throat open and your whole group's throat open. But he's stopping himself for whatever own selfish reasons he has by saying he was. This guy is very much not a good person. He's actually a little chillingly scary once he says those things to you.
One more thing. What's your name?
He says, my name is Izzle. Izzle Grizzle. And he looks at you and he laughs. He's like, you're kidding me, right? He's like, leave me alone.
Pretty sure it's the fake name, but can I just insight?
Yeah, you can insight.
It's almost a natural 20,
Doesn't
but it's a 13.
Yeah, that's okay. He is he's full of shit.
Yeah. All right.
At this point, Shakula's been like yanking on Umbra's shoulder, like, "All right, you had a way out. Let's get out. Come on, let's go."
We're not going to leave. We have 2 people that just got sucked out of reality. What if we leave and they come back to this spot? Let's just give it 10
And
minutes.
as you guys say that, they do come back. It's been a while for you guys though. So for Erasmus and Sio, it's been almost an hour. But you're back, and we'll resolve that afterwards. It's not super important now. Just understand that you're in a state of shock and you just don't know what happened yet. We'll resolve that afterwards, though.
Are they hurt?
Did anyone
Yeah.
pick up?
So Arasis is bleeding profusely. Even with his incredibly high roll, Arasis. So here's what happened in your
Ow.
mind, Sio. So here's what ended up happening. Arasis went in, just so you know personally, and we'll resolve this after the session anyway. Arasis actually got shunted way before you. She kicked him out of her realm, but you came back at the exact same time. You don't know this, but Arasis and you do come back at the exact same time to everyone else around here. But yeah, she kicked Arasis out as soon as she saw him in her.
But I did see some stuff, right?
You did. That's why we're gonna resolve it afterwards. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm unraveling the mystery.
Yeah, she doesn't actually expect people to be able to travel with Theo, which is the only saving grace you got for your 10 to 15 minutes in there. But anyway, but
She
you are
would've
gonna see some stuff. Yeah.
How bad does he look? Like
How bad
about
does
to
he
fucking
look?
die?
No. He didn't die or anything. But Arasis, you're gonna come back with close to 8 HP. You're doing
How
poorly.
much
You're
damage
actually
did I take?
bleeding.
Or did you just set me at 10
You-
HP?
No, you're
You
just gonna
have
set
that
to 10
much
HP.
left.
Yeah, you're gonna set
She
to 10
rocked your
HP.
shit, my dude.
Yeah, she stopped from killing you outright because of certain things that I know are going to happen. Depending on what
Wow.
CO does, it's going to be different reasons, but there's a reason why she lets you live. But anyway, she wasn't planning on it. She was planning on having you come back in little cubes. But anyway, she did let you live within 10 HP of your life.
You're gonna
Which
become
means, by
turtle
the way,
I feel
calamari.
like I look like Yamcha in the crater.
What that means though is that you do have several small like cuts all over your body, and then a couple large gashes close to your neck, close to your wrists, close to like your abdomen. So you are actually really fucked up. This is brutally painful on top of it. It's like you have a million paper cuts on top of your grievous wounds. So Greta, you would see this.
I look up
It's
from
hard to
my
even
little
talk.
thing
Yeah,
of-
it's hard to even talk right now. Yeah.
How long passed from their perspective?
Like
That's the
10
thing,
minutes,
it's
he
only-
said?
Yeah, it's exactly. It happened in real time, so it's literally like less than 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, so from their perspective, I don't know if they saw me do the thing, but I showed that device to them before. I
Yeah.
take it out, slap it on my wrist, and turn it, and then I just fade out of reality.
Yeah. Yep.
I would
Yep.
just like to go on record. I've told every last one of you that my patron would kill you. So fair
But
warning.
only-
CO
she can
comes
only
back.
kill me if I die.
CO comes back. By the way, this is crucially important. CO, and there's no way for you to hide it, unfortunately. And she tells you this going into it. You'll figure out why once we resolve it. CO comes back with a floating, glowing book.
Is that
Is that
the?
the Demonica?
I was laying in a crater, soaking.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's
Yeah.
go.
As soon as CO shunts back,
Let me
She's-
let me take care of this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, CO will grab that piece of paper you mentioned that was left in
And
Van's
they're
wake.
already walking through the houses, by the way. The guards are still around, but that general is already going through. He's on the other side at this point, so he hasn't seen anything yet. So at this point, now you can turn it invisible if you want, but you do have to come in with it visible.
No.
That's fine.
I say we get away from these guys first before we talk about anything. Gretna,
Can I just do
can
something?
can you just help out Erastus to help us get
Yeah.
moving?
I think I can. Let me see if I can actually. Oh, great. All right. I'm gonna give him a cure wounds at 4th level. I don't know how to do that this way, so
My mother, don't waste your spell slots.
what? So I'm just gonna do it this way.
Pretty sure it's exclamation point.
You are in some extreme pain on top of it. Even when you felt, this is how bad it is. So Rasmus, when you got there and you fell, as you fell and your hands hit
that's
the
very
slimy
good.
ground, it was like insane pain by just having your hands come in contact and your knees come in contact with the slimy floor. You've never felt these cuts before. They're freaking awful.
I rolled
Yeah.
you 40 hit points.
Oh, so I'm back to 50. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, so all those
Chris,
start to steal.
I'm gonna say getting 6 lightning bolts in 6 seconds was a little worse.
To be honest, pain wise,
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Pain wise,
Pain wise, you were just like overloaded, right? Like if you got hit with those lightning bolts, after a while you almost feel numbed. What she did is she on a molecular level cuts you up. It was fucking awful, really
Jesus
bad.
Christ.
And she
Feels
did it
God,
in the
though.
and she did it in a way that was meant to be painful. She was actually slicing down your synapse lines where all of your like nerve endings were. She's kind of, she doesn't mess around. So, but yeah,
But
this
I
would have
left-
been very, very painful on the outside. But yeah,
I got into and left alive the Mansion of Mysteries.
Slow
Barely.
clap, my dude. Slow clap.
Let me just tell you, barely.
And yeah, I did it through the power of science using my baby monitor.
now I will. Now here's the thing. I will totally retcon this if our conversation goes and CO's like, "No, I don't care. Let him die." Then I'm sorry. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
Then
fair.
completely
I
fine. But
was totally
I'm
prepared that
assuming
I
she's
might
not
die.
going to do that. I'm assuming she's not going to do that.
She
but we'll
might
see.
do that.
So yeah.
I guess I have to be really nice to Kaylee tonight.
Wow. At the risk of Erastus, you have to be nice to me. Swell.
Yeah, I got a reason to.
Anyway.
now.
Will
Okay,
the
so you guys-
portal
so
live?
they're back. You guys go through it. This is what he expects. So everyone understands out of game. He just expects you to get out of this area. He doesn't want to see you. Max will be able to tell you that this guy is not exactly a nice person, and worse, he actually does really, really want to kill all of you. He's not for whatever reason. So he does want you to get out. Now, here's the other downside of this. It's not the easiest thing in the world to get off of this area, as you can see by looking at the map. So you are going to have to come up with some kind of creative solution.
So, Chris, just doubling back, the obsidian pendant, right?
Yep,
How
yep.
exactly did I use that to get out of the abyss the first time?
Right. So Max, if you think that is your best bet to go through it, what you would do is you would find a dark corner. What you did last time is you in one of like in a delirious state when you were about to basically die of thirst and hunger. This is the only thing that you really had, and what you had done is you had basically started to mess with this thing and kind of trace it along the wall, and you basically just remember falling through and kind of landing in an equally bad place that happened to be the Underdark. You were able to eat some mushrooms and other things, get yourself back on your feet, and just like walk out. You have no idea what the hell you did or how that worked, but you do know that you could try something similar, something like that again if you really had to, since you've done it once before.
Okay.
We have a fucking Hellraiser puzzle box? What?
I'm gonna head to I'm gonna tell the party to follow me whenever everyone's ready, as we need to get out of here as fast as possible.
Before we go, do we want to let him know of the mayor that still could be here somewhere? Maybe.
I don't think they care very much about their mortal minions. He served his purpose.
Was he working for them?
Uh, like her brother? I'm not sure if it's
N-
that
n-
specific.
No, the mayor who brought the brother in here against his will.
Does anyone
Exact-
pick up? Does anyone pick up the scrap piece of paper? By the way.
Yeah, I was
I would like
yeah,
to.
Theo.
Everyone
soon as
wants
Theo
to.
came back
Everyone
in-
wants to.
My
Yeah.
paper, it rips.
Mage hand.
Yep. Okay.
CO gets
Yeah.
it, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, unless somebody took it while she and Erastus were gone, that's the first thing she does.
I just didn't
as
want to
soon as she gets
interrupt.
back.
I'm sitting in my crater.
Yeah, I
that was a good
imagine
10
you're-
To be honest, that was a good 10 minutes. Someone could have totally picked it up and given it to you too, CO. Yeah.
It doesn't
Oh.
matter to me if
Yeah.
somebody did, if somebody didn't. Sia would
Yeah.
like it.
Ceo's got the paper. Ceo's got the paper.
Yeah, I would have picked it up, but I would have handed it to you just because I was kind of just standing there and I didn't want to interrupt anyone.
Oh,
I just
as
wanna
Max
po- I
is
just
leading
wanna-
everyone.
Sorry,
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I just want to point at CO and say, I saw, and I'm going to point to the thing on my wrist.
She's going to look at you
And I'm
and
just going to grin, despite my blood.
she is bloodied. She has tear stains down her face. And for the first time, because Erastus has known her longest, Sia looks like she wants to absolutely die.
Yeah.
She has
So-
no life in her eyes.
So, CO, if you look at that piece of paper, it's written in a silly code that you guys had as children, and it says, "Stay out of this, please. Just trust me."
Say,
As Max is leading everyone away, Shakulu will pick up Erastus. He can barely stand.
No, he got
I'm
healed
really
up by
heavy,
Gretna.
but sure.
Oh yeah, you got healed up. My bad.
Yeah, I'm just still playing it off.
Now, out of game, CO, so this helps you. I will tell you this: this is not actually something that's just like written to be coy or whatever, anything to do with your backstory. You have to. There's certain things that I want you to really like weigh in. First and foremost, regardless of whatever that note says, your brother still left you in the abyss. He could have
Yeah.
gone with you, and he could have easily given this to you and gone with you. It happened the way that it happened for whatever reason it happened in. Also, understand that your brother has been giving you conflicting things from the very beginning, clearly.
Yeah.
So there's more to this than what it looks like. Anyway, okay.
She will take it from whoever hands it to her. And Sio is going to walk to the water, read the note, and then open her book.
Mhm.
And she's going to write to her brother and tell him that she's just going to tell him, I would have gone with you.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna
that's
s-
it.
So even though there's no response, you do remember that it's the possibility that he is on another plane now also complicates this.
No, that's fine. After she
Yeah.
doesn't get a response, she'll write him again and just say, we were in this together from the beginning, and you left me. And all I've done for 50 years is try to come home. And you really left me. That's all mom and dad asked for, was for you to stay. And she's just going to close her book and she's just going to kind of stare out and zone.
I'm gonna just put my hand on Erastus's shoulder and say, do you think it's best that you go comfort her or just leave her for a bit?
I think she needs some space.
Umber's gonna walk up to her.
Or you can be that guy.
Just because, she seemed pretty upset and she was standing by the water, so he just wants to make sure that she doesn't do anything rash.
After
Or
they
following
stand there
Max.
for a few minutes, I'm gonna walk up to them. I'm just gonna say in a soft voice, we should be getting going.
Yes.
Lead the way.
Okay.
I'm just
Where
gonna
would
say
you like to
to.
go, Max?
I'm just gonna say to Sia, you can hate me or despise me all you want, but I I just want us to get out of here. I want all of you to get out of here. And I'll start heading towards the very back of the up against the wall, and I'll just
Follow.
try to find the darkest spot possible.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
show me where you'd like to be. Yep.
I'll be
Um,
right behind him.
I'll go to here.
Yep.
Let
All
me
right.
just we'll go there.
All right. And you want to tell me? Do you want to try to like basically do what you did last time?
Yeah, I'll take the pendant. And you said I scribbled on the
You were close.
wall.
You were close to death, so you don't exactly remember what you did. It's almost like your instincts
Mm,
took over, and you were scribbling and using the obsidian piece on stones on the floor, on the wall. You were making some kind of gestures or whatever. You were incredibly close to death the last time this happened.
mm,
But you know, you're gonna do what you're desperate, obviously. So you're gonna
yeah.
try to do that right now, I assume, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the pendant and just start I'm gonna start scribbling just basically random letters in abyssal on the stones, sort of like a um get us out, teleport, something like along those lines. And I'm just gonna talk to Umbra as I do so,
Well,
saying, "I uh,
wait.
last time I did this, I was on my last legs, so I don't remember much."
No, yes, hold on. Let's go somewhere a bit more light, just so I can see what we're doing.
No. This
You need the dark to do
I
this?
I don't know. I think so. I don't remember much, but I know you
Alright.
can't see in the dark. I just
Well, hold on. Let's not fuck it up at this step. And I want to
yeah
get down on my
yeah
hands and knees, and I want to get really close to the ground, and I want to look at the runes, and I want to, because I can read Abyssal, I want to look at all the runes that he did, and I want to see if he has the proper form in the circle, and if all the lines are matching, and if everything's kind of spaced out properly. I don't know if
Well,
he's going for a glyph.
so here's the fascinating thing. First and foremost, you are onto something because he is actually making glyphs. These are glyphs you've never seen before at all, but it is something like a magic circle or something. So there's something to this. You know that this is not a fool's errand. He's right. This is going to work. Um, and you guys can work together on this. You can certainly try to work together for the time being and try to figure this out too. So yeah, so you're now like doing little corrections and your best guess on how this could potentially work. And Max, you're going through and just trying your best. Out of
yeah.
character, guys, this is how magic items are supposed to work, but unfortunately we have to make them this way. But
I'm
anyway,
just
um, so yeah, so Max, this is going to take some time, but you're helping. So
I'm just gonna
Yes.
go up and Erastus for the first time will hold Co's hand, but not say
oh,
anything.
by the water. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you guys are alone too. Is there anyone else by Erasmus that can see this?
I think everyone else is with me
I'm with
and
Max
Umbra.
and Umbra.
Okay. Co, do you know when messages are written in your book? I think you instinctively do know, correct?
I do.
Yeah, that's right. So a message has been written in your book. You open the book to read it. Um, the message says, "Co, we are related to Baba Yaga. Stay the hell out of it. This is my cross to bear. No more will you be involved." I've said too much.
She'll write back, try me, and close it.
Now, Co, do you know who Baba Yaga is? Does Co know who Baba Yaga is?
I think
You
in
should.
passing, as a character, Sio would maybe have heard a story of Baba Yaga, but I highly doubt, given her.
I'm pretty
her
sure you
background.
know who that is. I think Kaylee might have forgotten.
No, Kaylee missed that stint in Barovia.
That's cool.
No.
So Baba Yaga is actually from the Feywild. So Baba Yaga is the mother of all hags.
Yeah.
She is the most powerful. She is the most powerful hag, and hag is a whole race of creature, by the way. She's the most powerful in all of stories or anything else. As a matter of fact, many people do not even believe Baba Yaga is a real thing or a
Wait,
real entity.
didn't Baba Yaga raise Tasha?
Sort of.
Well,
Ah!
Sort of.
Baba Yaga did raise Tasha, but your character would not know this. Your character would not know this, but
No,
Baba
me as a
Yaga,
person is
Baba
Man,
Yaga did raise
trust me,
Tasha.
you don't want to say that name around followers of Grazik.
Well, no, Co. What I was saying is, I
That's
don't.
also a good point. I don't know if you would know that either, but that is a
Well, no,
really
Co. I think would know in passing from stories who Baba Yaga is, like legends and fables.
I'm
But I
fascinated
don't.
that you know. I'm actually surprised that you know that Baba Yaga raised Tasha. Did you read Tasha's Collection of
Yes,
Rising? That's
Tasha is
that
probably
would be
the
wild.
one. Tasha's probably the one mage I actually know a good bit about. I know about Elminster and Mordenkainen, but I got very invested in Tasha when her book came out.
Well, that
When we
spoils
saw those
that.
people, I was like, that's why when we saw those people, I was like, good thing you don't have that book anymore.
Well, wait till you read your new module that you're going to be DMing. It's going to blow your mind. But anyway,
Oh no.
Anyway, yeah, that's what it says. So
Is that something the Demonomicon would also have, or no?
just so you know, Co, this arc was built back when you first did something within the Tomb of Horrors, knowing that Witchlight was coming out as an FYI. But you will see. But Witchlight was supposed to be released in 2019. But anyway, so
Yeah. I mean, she absolutely would not share that with anyone, but yeah, she would write to Van, try me, close the book with a snap, but she would. The shred of paper that he left her in their code would have stuck it into the page. And as she'll give Erasmus's hand just the lightest squeeze and acknowledgement, but she will have the Demonomicon float in front of her and see if Baba Yaga appears.
How did you get the book back?
How did
right.
you know
You
I ever
didn't, and
lost
you
it?
didn't, and you didn't see this part either, Erasmus, because this happened at the very end. But Co, you do kind of know from what I told you already. But anyway, so as you search for Baba Yaga, surprisingly, there is an entry for Baba Yaga, even though she's not a demon, and it actually has an onset of this, and does explain a bunch of details about Baba Yaga. First and foremost, it does explain that Baba Yaga was not only rumored to be the first hag, but the kindest hag of all hags. And then and it does go through and explain the amazing things that Baba Yaga can do, meaning Baba Yaga actually has the ability to use wish multiple times a year. Baba Yaga also has the insane abilities to not only live forever, but teach others how to live forever. It does talk about some of Baba Yaga's unfortunate traits, like she is quick to temper and everything else, almost like it's a personal account of Baba Yaga. But most importantly, Co, when you look up the when you find this note or whatever, it says at the end of the paragraphs, it says for your eyes only, and it's signed by Igwilf.
Does she feel like that is written in the sense that it was, punctuated for the reader, or punctuated?
It's impossible to tell. It's impossible to tell.
Fuck.
Yeah, it is impossible to tell. I'm gonna give you a whole stat thing with Baba Yaga because there's much more to this, but I don't want to like ruin. Like, I don't want to go through 30 minutes.
No,
of
that's
lore on
fine.
Baba Yaga, but I will give you the whole thing. Yeah.
I do have one last question before we pan back to the rest of the party.
Yep.
As Sia was talking to her patron, was her patron able to provide her insight as to who Vand is working for?
No, but she also. I will tell you this: your patron is going to, when we go through that thing, also tell you that this is kind of a fool's errand, and she's going to, from everything that she knows about your brother, he's just a selfish prick, essentially. You'll see. But
Yeah.
your patron is very much of the thing that your brother's a huge disappointment to her as well.
Cool. Then at that, Sia will read that entry, close the Demonomicon, turn it invisible, and she'll just look to Erassus, and she'll just tug him along with her as she tries to find that
No,
general.
When you look to Erassus, he's gonna do like a little shuffle dance to try to get her to laugh.
She'll
'Cause
give you the
It's so out of left field, and you weren't expecting it.
she
Turtle
will
shuffle.
she'll give you the faintest smile. Like, it almost looks like it was a twitch of a smile. And she'll grasp your hand more firmly and lead you towards the general, because he was about to say who Vand was working for, and then we got shunted. And she's not leaving without finding out what's happening.
Maybe. Okay.
What do you okay, that's fine. But anyway, so at this point you guys are getting somewhere. So this is what's happening, Max. Slowly but surely it's starting to come to you, but you realize that it's only going to work if you're either in grave danger or someone beats you to an inch of your life. But this is what you have now discovered with Umbra's help. You need, so Umber doesn't know the rest of this, and you need something to motivate you. You need to be within an inch of your life. This can work, and you can do it, and everyone can escape, but you're gonna have to be in real peril somehow.
Does it need to be Max that is within the inch of his life, or can anyone?
Does. No, he's the only one with this knowledge. So, also, Umbra, this is fascinating to you. Max is not a mage. And yes, it's a magic item, but there's more to this. So one of the things that you might try, or I'll skip to it. If anyone tries to identify this or whatever, it is magic, but it's not the item. It's Max. Max is doing it himself.
Huh?
Yeah, it's not the item. It's Max.
And just watching this,
That's why you guys figured it out. It's Max is gonna need to unlock this in himself, but it's got to be within the inches of life again. That's your best guess.
I'm gonna ask Gretna to can you go find Erassus and Sia? We're almost done here. And I'm not sure if it's like how long it'll stay open for, so I just want to make sure that we're all together once this is done.
Yeah, sure. I'll just go waddle over there.
As Umbra and Max are finishing the notes, Shakalu puts a hand on Max's shoulder and says, you said we would duel at some point, right? One warrior to another?
Yeah, of course.
This isn't that, but I'll do you the favor. And he sort of cocks his head a little bit, like he feels weird about calling it that, but you know he's referencing to the whole put you in mortal danger thing.
I'm going to take a few steps back and get the hell out of this if this is happening. I don't want to be standing right here. Oh, let me get out of here. Hold on.
Draw it out. Shouldn't we just have?
I literally said this isn't that. Did everyone miss that, or did I say it weird?
Yeah, but I mean, like, why play pretend duel when we can just have Wizard over here put old Yeller down real quick?
I was gonna stab him in the gut.
My punches literally do no damage.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, can't you just blow a hole through his stomach or something?
Gross.
And then freaking Dende can come over and heal him, and I'll get a power boost out of it.
We just sent Dende away.
Yeah.
10 days, Gretna in this metaphor.
Yeah, it's literally up to Max. Do you want to be beaten within an inch of your life by just some dude or magic? It's
Do you wanna
really.
get stabbed or magicked?
Do you want
Happened
CO to
last
smack?
time.
I mean,
Do you want
I can go big and then jump on you.
Do you want CO to feel something
Maybe.
other than grief?
Yeah, why don't you let her work out her frustration on your face?
Non-lethal.
I go
I'll
over to
roll for that.
CO and Max, Orassus, and tell them to come on over. We might be ready to go.
What
Yeah.
this means is that you need to be at 1 HP max, just as an
Yeah.
FYI.
Can the
Yeah,
party just curb stomp
Yeah,
Max?
can we just all jump around
Yeah,
and
of
like
course.
beat the shit out of him?
Of
I
Of
vote
course. As a
that.
matter of fact,
That's-
as a matter of fact, if Max is not
That,
going
that,
to,
that's why I wanted to call over Erassus and Theo,
Yeah, I go first.
because I know I went against the party, and some
Yep.
of you probably have some pent up feelings towards me.
you don't know, is you could try it. You could certainly
Please
try.
share that.
Teleportation circle.
I say we curb stomp Max within an inch of his life and then ask.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the armor on and just crack Knuckles.
I mean, are you saying, are you trying to put like a pin here so you can get back here, kind of thing? Okay, I was like, yep, yep. You can certainly try. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you
certainly
start with
try.
like 2 known places.
There's a mechanic for this. As a mage, you would know that it's dangerous to teleport out of your plane back to them, but you can absolutely try. Yep.
Well, if this
I-
doesn't work, let's do that.
I will sit out of the group beating.
Well, if you
I don't know, it
everyone
just
doesn't
makes me feel
participate,
funny.
it feels mean.
I will not sit out of the group meeting, but I will have spare the dying, and I will be sitting right next to him.
Yeah.
Now, Max, you since you went through this before, you are gonna tell Gretna, don't heal me right away. Let me do what I need to do, and then heal me.
Spare the
And-
dying's only if you die, if they just like get a little carried away.
Right, exactly. Max just doesn't know that. He's just trying to tell you, like
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to him. I'm saying
gotcha.
It's only if you die.
And
Because I'm not
and
mad at
Max,
you.
you
I
are
think
gonna
it's
tell them
just hysterical.
you're probably gonna fall through. You're probably gonna fall through whatever it is, and just come after you. Yeah, that's the
Yep.
whole thing. Like you'll probably fall through it, but just everyone come
Right.
through it. You just
Yeah,
remember
so-
falling last time. So.
We
So
doing
I'll
this
wait
or what?
until Erassus and Theo are there, and then wail on me, guys.
Yeah.
Tell me
CO.
what you want to do. Yep. Tell me how this goes down, though. This is important.
Oof.
Ooh, are we doing this, guys?
Uh,
we need to-
Doing it.
I look at them all and I say, it's fine.
was I able to get that question
no.
from the general or no? Because CO was like not participating until she does. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So if
I hate to be that guy, but
no, it's totally fine. So CO, you walk over. He's in the corner here anyway. You were able to find him. What exactly do you want to ask? Again, I'm sorry.
no, that's
Yeah.
okay. I feel bad
These are
because a
menace.
lot of this has been CO crying most of this session or CO fucking him.
Cry like the last 4 sessions.
It's quite all right.
Yeah. What did you want to ask him?
She would just go up to him and with a very placid face ask him who sent my brother, the demon lord. I'm not playing guessing games.
Well, now just so you know, CO, with that book back, you would have had access to all of them. But if you do you not did you not want to look through them and just go through that way?
She was gonna. He seemed like he was ready to just tell her to like really rub salt in the wound. So depending on
Alright.
his willingness to tell her, she'll find out herself.
Okay, that's fine. So he says, well, what happened to you, tiefling woman? I just saw you get ripped in. I thought you left. Your group's still here?
In the process of leaving.
He says, I don't know, Asmodeus. Asmodeus is probably the person that sent your brother, right?
I'm asking you.
He said, well, do you know demon lords? And he's starting to get annoyed. Do you know who the demon lords are? Even if I told you, would this be wasted on you?
Guess we'll find out. Won't we?
He sighs and he says, all right, woman, Baphomet sent your brother. Now,
Ah!
hang on.
Oh, that's not as bad as it could have been. You're overreacting. She's
The
already
CO
dealing with that guy in one other campaign.
Oh, interesting.
It's much more pleasant in the other campaign.
Remember that next time you
Would-
brief about it.
No, wait. I need you to stop right there. Would CO
Amanda, I need you to isolate that sound clip of Kaylee screaming.
I would
Oh,
like that
I
as
got way better Kaylee Hills than that. I can send that out.
I need you to let me like rest in pieces right now, Gage. Maybe another day. Maybe when CO fucks up a little bit more and actually loses the Demonomicon.
Again.
Again.
Look, she didn't lose it. She lent it out like a librarian who only had one book.
Accidentally.
That's called.
It wasn't accidental in
losing it.
it's not accidental if she air quotes intentionally sent it to her patron for safekeeping, which is what she absolutely would have told all of you.
She probably dog-eared all the pages. She probably wrote in it.
No, she has a reverence for books. Especially since
I'm punching Max, just like in the back while you're having this conversation. Just don't.
yeah, CO's having a conniption, so she'll, with that information, say thank you, and on her heels is going to turn. Just Tyler, did Kino ever? No, she picked it up from brother. Yep, she would know that Tiamat and Bahamut.
What?
CO would know that your god and her brother's god are not going to be.
He said Baphomet.
Oh, never
Baphomet.
mind. I was really
yeah.
thinking Bahamut. Never mind.
No.
Don't get
Baphomet's
those
a
mixed
platinum
up.
dragon, yeah.
That's why I
Bahamut-
was very
Bahamut's a platinum
confused.
dragon. No, Baphomet is one of the more chaotic demon lords. He looks almost like a minotaur. He's very like bestial and abyssal. Like if you read about him, you can find out information from the Demonomicon. He's pretty bad, to be honest.
No, I know.
yeah.
One of his little patrons nearly killed my bard bunny, so am aware.
Yeah.
No, but you're definitely going to start. You want to start fighting Bahamut too. You want to join the team.
Jesus
Yeah.
I
Christ.
misheard that, and that's why I was so confused. I was like, the dragon, I'm pretty sure is not a demon lord, but
He's
whatever
not.
you say,
He's
guy.
He's a good aligned platinum dragon.
That's why I was
Right,
more
right.
confused.
You
But
could
no.
definitely join the chromatics, though, is what we're saying.
Jesus Christ.
It can't hurt.
I would have been
Yeah.
hyped if he was working for the good guys. I was like, what? How deep cover is this guy? What is going on?
What sleeper cell agent?
Trust me. This one-dimensional plot arc seemingly is anything but that. You'll see. There's
Theo's
a
the main
lot of
character
elements.
of this game.
Yeah, CO's
Yeah,
also
you'd be
having.
surprised. CO's definitely not the main character, but there is none. But here's the thing that's interesting. You'll see this CO is we've got the first like hint of COs. Everyone's is awesome, and
Mine's
CO's
the
is
feature,
only
so-
CO's is only like coming through. Kino's is kind of coming through now too. I'm hopeful that everyone gets to go through this because these are super complicated and hard. CO's is going to spoil half of verse 2 when she reads that stupid module. But the truth is that yeah, these were thought out from the very beginning. So even the new guys that came through, a lot of your stuff is not even released yet. So that's why it's fun. But anyway.
Can we get back to beating up
Poggers.
Max, please? I need some help.
Yeah,
I
at
would-
that,
Yeah.
Tia would have said thank you and started heading towards Max. She is standing and watching. She is not
Oh,
participating.
so I'm the only one. I feel mean now.
I am also just standing and watching, not loving it.
Okay.
Shakula's just gonna spear him in the gut and wait for him to bleed out. Like,
Okay.
Oh, with the cursed
so do
spear.
me a huge favor. Do me a huge favor.
Start rolling.
If no one else's roll matters, yours does. Just in case you roll a 1, go for it.
Yeah, that's
Jesus
why I was
Christ.
using
What the
Chris.
hell happens when you roll a 1 with that
Like
spear?
I said, I'm right next to him, and I've got Spare the Dying prepared.
I don't
I'm-
know if that's gonna save him.
I really kind of want to roll a 1.
Oh, I can't display
Just
fucking.
so lessons are learned here.
I'm gonna freaking give myself advantage by I rolled a 1, but I used Fighting Spirit.
Whoa.
All right.
So yeah, you did roll a 1. Yeah, lessons
Excellent.
learned.
How do I roll with advantage on this bot? I'm not.
You
really-
write ADV, so you would do
Oh,
exclamation.
I see the right click too. I just found that out now too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
if
you
you
can
go
right
into your
click.
D&D
That is a
Beyond
really
page, yeah.
interesting. That is actually something that has not come up. What happens when you use that specific skill
Here.
on a curse item that procs on a 1? That's interesting. I think it does override the 1. But what gave you advantage though?
I am posting it now. Give me a second.
Fighting Spirit.
Aren't you glad you saved that now?
Yes, I fucking am. I don't want to freaking cut him in half. Jesus.
Max
I
is just
think you'd
getting
probably cut
bisected.
yourself in half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it does. It does override the 1. Okay, that's fine. Yep.
Max is just getting bisected every time he gets in a
All
life
right,
so,
threatening
so at this
situation.
point,
Let me just keep punching him, please.
if you get cut with a magical spear, it's enough. So this narratively, this is what will end up happening. That spear is like razor sharp into like razor reality sharp. So it is +2. So Max, at first you don't even feel the actual wound, and then as he releases the spear and goes through it, you like look in horror as you realize, oh my god, this is bad, and you start to feel
New feeling.
yeah, you start to feel yourself bleeding out, and your heart starts to like race as you panic. You are at this point very, 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 very close to death. You kind of go prone. You start to go through it. This is now this is the important thing. Everyone now, as Max goes through and starts to almost lose consciousness, as Gretna's like hovering over him, very worried. You notice that Max's skin tone changes for a split second into a
Oh.
dark, blackish, almost reddish color, and his eyes, when he opens them, are yellowy. And it looks like there's some kind of magical energy that like picks him up, and he very, very effortlessly, in almost too quickly for you, Umbra, scary quickly, finishes out all of the runes or whatever, and he just falls. And it's there's literally a black, misty, unlike teleportation circle, Pan, black misty hole in the ground. But Max has fallen through it. And Max did
Is-
tell you that you guys would need to do this quickly and go through.
Yep, I'm
I
running through.
jumped-
Running
I'm, like,
through.
right on top of him
Yep.
anyway. I jumped right through with him.
I was fighting him when Shakulu stabbed him, so I just fall
Yeah.
into.
Yeah, I'd immediately tumble after, trying to
Okay.
see if we could catch Max before he smacks the ground.
Yeah.
All right. So this is what ends up happening. You guys go through.
Is there anything of like the physicality of what I saw Max turn into, or like anything?
Back on that fucking island.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could certainly. There's a couple things you can make checks on. You can do an Arcana check and you can do a History check. But you've also seen now demons, and it's similar. His skin tone was similar to those guys.
Yeah.
I would love to.
So- Actually, you do your thing. I'm going to check the Demonomicon.
I'm just doing an Arcana check. Don't worry about me. 17.
Uh,
Oops,
Oh,
hold on
shit.
Hold on 1 second. It's
God,
okay.
it's so
one
great
second,
when you get
guys.
to mid-level play and you just have like plus a bajillion to like 1 or 2 specialized roles. Specializing in a couple things is so much more fun than being like
Shit.
jack of all trades at everything, in my opinion.
Oh shit.
Look, talk down on my rabbit some more, please.
Aha.
I don't need to.
Damn. That's
Fuck.
cold.
The guy that worships Baphomet does that enough.
Hasn't she been through enough tonight?
You know, Gage really beats the shit out of my characters, but I think Chris just made a whole new game of it.
I gotta step
You're
up.
in a new world of hurt.
Oh,
He said
you going on
he's
vacation? Oh,
Yeah.
nope, guess not.
Yeah, sorry guys. This is
What happened to the tropical island?
Yeah, Chris. I thought I was, the emotional Mike Tyson. Turns out no. I was just Muhammad Ali.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't tell me we're in fucking Icewind Dale,
no,
please.
nothing like that. It's
Music
it's
got real
not-
ominous.
It's not this board.
I'm
Hold on
waiting
one
on.
second,
I'm still
guys.
waiting on GM.
God damn
We
it!
just
Yeah,
keep
me too.
falling through all of these places until we finally land. Kind of.
I gotta look at Chris's stream so I can.
Oh,
It's
see
like a
wait,
what
wait,
it
wait,
Scooby-Doo
wait.
montage.
What am I doing? It is.
There's a
in there.
rabbit.
That would be awesome.
All
Oh.
right. All right.
No, this is worse.
Nope.
Huh?
All right. So, no, it was here the whole time. I'm not crazy. All right, cool. So
This isn't
hold
the
on one
prime
second.
material plane.
So
What?
here you go.
I also like how Chris is like, here's the worst day of your character's life, but also
Worst
fun
day of your life
fact.
so
So
far.
far.
You know what? I did say it before that this is the worst day of Sio's life when she thought her brother died, and now he just is dead to her a little
Can't
bit.
we just go to like a town? Why does it always gotta be
This
some
is
curse?
beautiful.
This is scary.
I am reserving my excitement until I'm sure whether that's sunlight or not. I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah,
No,
this doesn't
I'm
look
feeling
like prime material plane to me.
This is disconcerting.
It's
This
well,
Sorry,
the title
folks.
of the
I've
fucking,
taken us
Let
to
me,
the second layer of hell.
the title is called Abyssal Gate, so I'm gonna say no. This isn't.
It's just the gate.
We're used to getting disappointed though.
Yeah.
This is the
I'm
gate to
sure
the
it's
garden.
fine,
We're actually in
right?
the Abyss's backyard.
You will see.
Look at all these
Uh,
people around us.
I guess we will. Yeah.
I don't know if it's better or worse if we're surrounded by people in this place.
Are we?
At least we know how to kill those.
Do we?
Yeah,
I'm
we
on
do.
1 HP.
yeah, exactly.
Hey,
You're
remember what you
your
did to the
miniature's
last
under
guy when you
here.
were on 1
It's
HP?
super weird. Here, Pan, I'm
What
gonna
was
bring
that?
you back.
Remember what you did to the last guy when you were on 1 HP?
It's true.
You thrive under
Okay.
pressure.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Yeah.
Am I missing anyone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who am I missing?
Pan, Umbra, Shaq,
I think is
Max?
that everybody? Oh,
I
Max.
need
I'm missing Max.
Erasus.
Max
Oh.
and Erasmus. Yeah, that's
And
what
I
was saying.
need
Max
I
and
need
Erasmus.
Bimmy figure.
Yep. All right.
And I need Control C. Well, I have Control C.
Um,
Boop.
which one are you again, Max? Mechanic Man.
This one.
Gotcha. Yep.
I was already here.
Oh, you were already here. Yep.
Yeah,
you
I
were
just
here.
It's just
Erasus was
Erasus.
left behind.
Yeah, Erasmus, I got you. Hold on.
Guys, there's 2 of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Some freaky shit's going on.
You cast Simulacrum.
Dwarf, he's hallucinating. Can you stop the bleeding?
Duplicity.
I'll put you back as the orc here. Hold on. Let me just for now.
Right where I belong, an orc.
Let's see.
Forever an orc.
Which one are you again? GSB 831. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
Those are my initials.
All right. So Max, you kind of wake up in this area. This is not where you went last time. However, you do instinctively understand, Max, from being there before. You are currently within the Underdark. There's a giant gate and some kind of castle structure to your back here. But this doesn't
Like
feel like
people.
the abyss to you anymore. You don't know how you know that, but you're pretty sure you're not in the abyss.
People.
I'm just laying on the ground. I'm slowing my breathing to stop my blood from fully flowing out.
Hey, Gretna, we got another one.
Yep. I'm on it.
Yeah. Once we landed,
Another
Without-
Oh, look,
wounds
see ya,
another cure wounds
people.
at 4th level. This one's not as good as the last one. Oh, but it's still a 38.
Now, when you
Nice.
fall, this is what ended up happening. When you guys fell, you fell the other side. So you actually fell upright in where you were right now. So you like rose and then dropped to the floor, but did not fall through the hole again for whatever reason. So you did fall, but it was a quick fall because gravity was on the other side and it basically put you down immediately. So there's no damage or anything else either.
Well-
It's a weird feeling though. It's a very disorienting, very strange, bizarre, weird feeling.
Thank you,
Max,
Gretna.
I'm not a Gretna, but I'll give you a first level cure wounds too to try and see
I
if I
already
can
gave you
get you.
38 points, so whatever that comes to.
Yeah, I'm at 39 out of 69.
Oh,
Now you're at. I give you another 12.
Cool.
as we are getting our bearings, Chris, Umbra rolled a 17 for Arcana check on Max, and I rolled a 22 on History for his lineage.
Yes.
If that's something we can resolve while Max is
Yeah.
getting fixed.
So you got a 7. What was the roll on Arcana?
17 on Arcana for Umbra, 22 on History for CO.
Okay. Max is most definitely in the thralls of some kind of high level magical interference. You've never seen anything like this. None of you have. CO, I imagine once you figure this out, you'll probably go through the Demonomicon to see if you can find something about this. But
Yes.
Max is under like as far as you guys can tell, it's the closest assumption to like a curse that you've ever seen. But this seems way more complicated than just like some kind of like blood curse or death curse or curse in general. It might have something to do with his actual blood or his lineage or something else. CO, the only reason why you're able to come to that is because you share something like this as a tiefling. This is something that you inherently now understand from reading this in the Demonomicon about your own people. Max is something like you are something, but you don't really know how that works. You don't really understand the curse from Asmodeus that created the tieflings to begin with, but this is something like that for Max.
Okay.
So it's ingrained in you. It's not something that like a remove curse would go through. Just
Right.
like if someone did remove curse on you, it wouldn't stop you from being a tiefling.
No, exactly. Yeah, she's just
When,
gonna
when,
sit on that.
yeah, when you guys were healing me, Max would ask you to not fully heal over the scar from the wound, to just sort of leave the scar there.
Yep.
If you are able to do that.
Yeah, and Gretna can. Gretna, I mean, if only Gretna can is skilled enough in healing, even with the whole party, to like basically leave a blemish, but she could do it.
Okay.
Some ladies
As a
think
matter of
scars
fact,
are sexy.
Gretna once it's a grievous wound like decapitation, without greater restoration, Gretna can't even get rid of the scar, so no one could. But when it comes to this kind of thing, Gretna could have totally healed the spear wound, completely. But
Yeah.
Except for
she
that
could
time that
also-
she did.
right.
Yeah. So upon
Well, no,
receiving
he
the
still has a
healing,
scar. He still has a scar on his neck.
Yeah.
But yeah.
upon receiving the healing,
Right, wonderful.
Max will push himself up and jump up into the air, moving about his limbs and such, and say, "Well, we are in the Underdark, I believe. I feel that we're not in the Abyss. I'm not sure how, but it's a gut feeling I have. Unfortunately, I don't know whereabouts we are in the Underdark.
At least we're on the
And
material plane.
he'll turn to Gretna and Umbra and say thank you for the healing.
Yep, that's what I'm here for. Oh, you're welcome.
Shakulu starts stepping towards the city and asks
Remember,
Umbra, you know almost everything about everywhere we go. Do you know what this place is?
Do I know what this place is?
Well, Chris, you told me it was an abyss gate or something.
Yeah,
like
you
that?
inherently know that this is one of the gates into the abyss itself. These are
This is
fabled areas that most people never get to see. This is an abyssal gate.
This is an abyssal gate, a gate into the abyss.
These are fabled areas which most people never get to see.
Shakulu says, lucky them, and then he turns around, starts going in the opposite direction.
Which way do we go? Do we know which way we're supposed to go? We go up, right?
Not towards the gate.
Yeah, so the
I'm
gate is
assuming.
actually a castle. The gate is actually this castle structure here. That's fortified. That is correct. So to get out, you would go down. This is not actually a gate. What you'll find is the gate itself is actually the castle, and it's more fortified than you can imagine to get in. But out here, the way to actually leave is through this area. There's a portal here. But you are in the Underdark currently.
Can I see those people up there? They're there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that they're not actually doing a bunch to hide. They're looking at you quizzically. And as if you start staring, he says, "Hobgoblin, we come in
Human.
peace. We come in peace. We saw you fall out of the sky and then land.
Hello.
He said, and so you notice that this guy jumps down from where he's at, which is no easy feat, especially for a normal human.
I'll just quickly use my wholeness of body to gain back my last remaining 18 HP.
Okay.
I will walk up
I'm
with
at full health
Shakulu.
again.
And he, by the way, he motions to his friend or whoever that is to stay up there, and he says, "Well met, adventurers." He said, "So, did you go into the Abyssal Gate? And if so, how? We've been trying for a wee bit, and I'm embarrassed to say that we can't actually get through."
Trust me, you don't want to head in there.
Yeah, it's full of mean people who do bad things to good
Whatever
people.
reasons you may have, and even if you are skilled adventurers, skilled people, I fully advise for you to not step foot in there.
Yeah.
And Max is sort of saying this in a slightly intimidating tone, but also like a very cautious tone as well.
He says, "Well, to be honest, friend, we don't have a home to go back to, so we're on a one-way mission to find Vecna, and we'll do anything to get to it. So, if you don't mind, either..." And then he looks at his friend and he says, "There's no reason for me to be. It's not your fault. But just understand that we've been outside for a little bit and have not found a way in. We killed a bunch of demons, some other things around this area. It's not exactly safe, but for now, I certainly think it is." And he extends his hand out to the hobgoblin first, and he says, "Rabalar, friend, your name?"
Why do you want to find Vecna?
Shakulu Bardis. Forgive my friends. We've been through a lot lately.
Yeah.
And he
I'm
looks over at you. Yeah, he looks over to you, Rastus. He says, "This is an interesting group of adventurers." And he looks up to his friend and he says, "Have you ever seen?" He says, "I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude.
Oh,
What
we're
do you
not
call
adventurers.
yourself?" He says, "Well, what do you?" He says, "What?" He says, "I've never seen anyone from your race. What exactly are you?"
Me?
Yep.
Or him? Me?
No, he says, I know exactly who the hobgoblin is. He says, "But you seem nice for a hobgoblin," which I'm
Oh,
a little surprised. I can tell by the company you travel that you're not going to just skewer your friends and us. I can tell. And he winks at you. And he says,
Uh,
but most importantly, no, I've never seen a talking
oh, I'll let the
turtle."
the helmet drop as it like
Yep.
retracts into my shell. I am a turtle. Hello, I'm Arasis.
He says, "You are." He looks up. He looks up to his friend. He said, "See, I could tell by the outline. What
Did
do
what
you
gave it away? Was it the big shell on my back?
It was the shell," he says.
I knew it.
What do you call what do you people call yourselves?"
Turtle, like
Tortle.
kind of like the noodle, but
Yeah,
without
he
the
says,
weenie.
"Tortle, he said, "That is fascinating." He said, he says, "Friends, let's come together and let's storm the abyss together."
Did you make
No.
a tortellini reference?
I
Was
made a
that what that
tortellini
was?
reference, like the
yes.
noodle.
Yes.
A lot of people keep saying turtle, but it's turtle, so you have to use a mnemonic device to help them remember it.
He's been holding on to that for a while.
She
He
sounds
says-
so
he says-
annoyed.
He says, I will be honest, friends, we have been lost in this cavernous maze of the hell for a long, long, long time. We've killed many drow. We've been to their capital city. We have done many, many, many things, me and my friend. But this is the last step for us to exude our vengeance on Vecna himself. I really do implore you. How on earth did you get in? I saw that you came in through some kind of like hole. Can you just do that one more time and can I go through it?
Probably not.
I'll
I don't know.
step up and I'll put my hand on this guy's shoulder and say, I know that you may have nowhere to go back home to. However, you do not want your life to end in that place. So I
He
assure
says
you,
he says you'd be surprised, friend. You'd be surprised. We've done many, many, many amazing things, me and my friend.
as
So
have we.
he says, have you ever heard of the Circle of Eight? And he
Have
gives you
I?
like a knowing smile. Probably not is the answer. Probably
Have
not.
any of
He
us?
assumes
Yeah.
all of you know. It's very clear that he assumes that this is like a huge reveal that you're talking to a famous celebrity kind of where he's filing or whatever, and he's utterly shocked that you haven't.
Have any of
He's
us?
no.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
I don't think so. Yeah. Matter of fact, well, no, I take that back. You have heard that name before, yes. You heard it in the Tomb of Horrors.
How strong
The
does this
characters.
guy, like, sizing him up?
Surprisingly strong. He doesn't have any outwardly. He doesn't have anything that you can tell that's magical yet without having it detect magic up or whatever. But he looks surprisingly well put together. And you just saw him jump from 25 feet, like without even thinking about it. And he is in full heavy armor.
CO will call to them because when we landed, she kind of just stayed in place. And she'll turn, and from where she's still standing, she'll call to this person talking. Well, friends, if you won't heed our advice, then heed this. We got into the abyss through a blood sacrifice. We got out through a blood sacrifice. And if you're truly looking for Vecna, you're in the wrong place. The Tomb of Horrors would be your best bet. And you're looking for a place called Tovag.
Yes.
He
Well, not
says
even the Tomb of Horrors.
he
Yeah.
says interest. He says you've been to the Tomb of Horrors?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
He
And the
says
Doom Vault.
he says I have personally fought and destroyed. And then he looks up at his friend and he says, well, destroyed is unfortunately. He says, I beat Asarak. How he says this is amazing. I've never ever in all of my travels met even a group that has fought the Sarek. He
Did you
says,
beat him? Did you beat him with a glowy mace?
no,
Oh.
no, that was the false Sarek. He says, "What?" He says, "You really were within the tomb." He says, "I can't believe it." No, I killed a Sarek before he actually created the Tomb of Horrors, but as you can see, it wasn't as successful as I was kind of hoping for that to be. But well, whatever. He says, "You really have never heard of the Circle of Eight? But you are a." He says he looks at everybody. He's like, "You're." He says, I can tell a magic item or two when I see one." He's looking at your spear. He's like, this. He's like, so much has gone wrong. And he looks up at his friend. He said, "This is." He said, "This is." He said, "You're not from Greyhawk. I can tell. You're obviously not from Greyhawk."
No, we're no.
Yeah, we've heard of this. We actually in that Drow city. What was it?
and
Mezabori, Meza. He says,
Mesobaranazam?
yeah,
Menzoberranzan.
yes. He said that you've been there too.
No.
I just read about it.
He said, he said, we had a tough time in there. I wouldn't suggest going to that city unless you are a woman with very dark skin. He said, that said, I will tell you that uh, our home is destroyed. We've been wandering in the Underdark for a couple of years now. Um, and he looks. He's like, but tell me. I mean, are you sure that Vecna is not in the abyss? From everything that we have read, all of our adventures has led us to understand that Vecna is in the abyss. You think he's in Tovag? And he says,
Vecna is in Covidius, his citadel, his own personal bubble.
He says it makes sense. He says it does make sense. It's a domain of dread. He said, did it? And he looks over and he said, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. The forest in the domain, what did it look like?
The worst thing you've ever seen? filled with monsters. It's always night, and you can't make a sound. That armor you have on will do you no good. It's loud.
He said, "That's right." He said that's right. That's right. You were actually in Kaz's domain.
I
He
live
said,
in
friend, I was there before it was a domain of dread. I watched Vecna. I watched with my own eyes Vecna get sucked from Greyhawk with his stupid errand quest to become a god. I was part of that, friend.
Chris, would we know how long ago Greyhawk was dismantled?
So you've never actually been able to piece this together in any of your. So you can ask him what year he thinks it is or whatever, but unfortunately, no. I will tell you this to make this a little more palatable for everybody out of game because we're getting into really fucking obscure knowledge stuff here. Greyhawk was not destroyed a long time ago like people think. Greyhawk was destroyed 15 years ago. So that's
15
why this
years
is very
by
15 years by Greyhawk was officially destroyed in 1475 or 1476 or
so
something.
prior to us entering
Yeah,
the tomb, it was
right.
destroyed.
Yeah,
Okay.
so now to Greyhawk time. Greyhawk time doesn't mesh very well because Greyhawk was obviously written years before any of these settings. But yes, that is the actual timeline when you match them up, Or's timeline and Faerun timeline. So 15 years ago, it ceased to exist. So anyway, but for all the scholars in Faerun River, they think it ceased to exist hundreds of years ago. None of you know that anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. So he says, he says, he says, so we wasted years. And he looks up at his friend. Years, years. He says, we're on a quest to get revenge. Vecna basically started a chain of events that destroyed our world.
What
And
world is that?
Greyhawk.
he said,
Greyhawk? Okay.
he said, oh, he actually says, the world was Orith. I lived in Greyhawk, but the world was named Orith. And he looks really sad. And he says, he says, so many people gone because of selfish men who want to become gods.
Yeah, that's the worst.
I'm gonna. I don't know how tall he is, but I'll try and put a hand on his shoulder.
He's 6'4". Yeah.
You're
I'll put a hand
reaching.
on it. I'll put a hand on his arm.
Yep.
I'm 5'1".
I'm
Yep.
also from Orth, and I spent
sa-
years.
His
in-
eyes widen, and he says, how did you get out of the Sundering?
I was a child. I couldn't tell you. I became part of the population in Tovag. I lived in Torgarok for a few years, and then I lived in the forests.
Oh, I'm so sorry. This makes sense. So Tovag was actually a small portion nation state within Orath. My guess is that when Vecna was ripped out of reality, and I saw this firsthand, so I think it's an educated guess, pieces of Orath were ripped with him to create his domain. I am so sorry.
I survived. And I'm glad you did too. Is the rest of your party also from Orth?
He said, yes, the very paranoid dwarf up next to me that's sizing everyone up to kind of put an arrow through you. He said, don't mind him. He's just overzealous. But, and also, by the way, isn't very friendly. And the dwarf yells back and he says, Rabalar, come on. And Rabalar says, shush, 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 shush.
So,
And he says, thank you. You have helped us tremendously, especially considering that we were about to go on another fool's errand for possibly years. Well, I guess there's really nothing else for us to do. And you see him effortlessly jump back up on the rock up here, and he starts quietly talking to his friend.
you want to go get a drink with us?
You can always come back with us. You have allies in us.
Yeah, you want to? There's drinks. We're gonna go get some drinks.
He says that there's a slight problem and he looks down at the group. He said, "Do you see that doorway? We've already come through it. Unfortunately, there's a catch with that doorway. Um,
God damn it.
he says, this is my suggestion. The group of us, well, it used to be 7. Um, so me and my friend came in together because we think we walked through at a fast enough time. Everyone is going to need to go through at the same time, and there's no guarantee that everyone is going to come out in the same way. But your best bet is to all go through together. That, or he looks around. He's like, it's only
Can we
tense
just
over
teleport
here.
out of here?
He said, well, that would actually work, I think. He said, how many people can you teleport?
Look
I
at the
mean-
mages.
Yeah, he's looking,
Same.
Yeah,
at it.
teleportation circle.
He said that would actually work. Unfortunately, neither of us know how to do that.
It remains open for until the end of your next turn, so I guess anyone that runs through it could go.
As
He
many.
says, well, great. He said, let's do that. That's a much better idea. And he hops back down.
Can I insight them, Chris? Because
Yeah, of course, you
Theo's a
can.
trusting person, but is in a terrible mood.
No, of course. Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and do an overall insight on these guys.
Everyone?
16.
Yeah,
Granted.
anyone can. Yeah, of course, anyone can. Especially everything you've gone through. I don't imagine you're the most trusting people anyway. 16, he does appear to be pretty honest, pretty naively honest, actually. But that naive honesty also comes from the fact that this guy, he's very clearly skilled at what he does, and so doesn't really have a bunch of reasons to be suspicious. It's that strange like naivety that comes from being really, really charismatic, but also being really, really powerful.
Okay.
Pan got a
s-
natural 20.
Woo.
Pan, you got a natural 20. Okay,
Whoa.
so the one thing that you do see through everything that he's putting on is that he is underneath all of this like exterior, very, very deeply sad and upset and driven. It does go with his narrative story, but he is right now very, very driven to get whatever he needs to get out of this. But that's a very hidden thing, and you can only barely make this out because of his mannerisms and his movement. But he is definitely a lot more sad than he appears to be.
I have a question for you before we head out. How did you leave Tovak?
He said, I actually left Orith right before it was destroyed. He said, do you have a minute? I can tell you the story, but it's kind of long.
It sounds like a better story over a drink.
Yes.
I said, sure. Me and my friend are definitely up for a drink. And he looks up at the dwarf. And as he looks up at the dwarf, you guys now have started to go through that too. The dwarf still has this very large like crossbow out. He doesn't have his hand on the trigger or whatever, but he's not letting it go. And he's like, come on. They're clearly not going to attack us. Drop it. Get down here. And the dwarf begrudgingly says nothing, and also pretty effortlessly hops down. He's in like leather armor, but yeah.
Well, I guess we're your lucky day, sir.
He said, you certainly are. You certainly are. As a matter of fact, I think I owe you a debt of gratitude.
You can buy me 1 milk.
You said, deal, Turtle Man.
We'll take any magic items that are not cursed and paper.
Gonna extort them. That's mean.
I was joking. It was a joke.
Yeah, he does look at you. He does look at you very strangely. He's clearly inciting you. And he says, friend, magic items can be very dangerous. He said, what was your name again?
I'm Umbra. I'm not the best with jokes. I'm sorry.
He says, well, you did have a pretty tough upbringing, being that you were part of the Domains of Dread. He said, we'll talk all about it, though. We can talk about this over a drink.
Yes, indeed.
Classic comedy.
Right now, I just think it's best that we all see the sun.
Yeah, I missed that.
2 decades in the woods will do that to you. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So yes, certainly.
If we're talking about the ones we took from the lair, they're worth 100 gold apiece.
Yep.
That's why I wrote down my notes at least.
Absolutely. So Gretna will be able to smash these up and absolutely allow you to basically use these gems with the
I
ink that you
stick it
have
on the
doing
ground.
it.
I take my hammer
It's
and go boom.
I'm sorry, they're worth 1,000 apiece.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
Um,
I
just a piece of it, a chip.
well, just for the record, they're in my bag, but I will give
Uh,
you one
Maybe wrap them in something before you smash them. Like wrap them in like a tissue.
I rip a piece of my my dress off.
because I tried to sell it to that merchant guy, and he's like, "I can't afford this. I'll give you 100 gold for it." And I was like,
Exactly
"No."
right. Yeah.
No,
You actually don't really know, and that's exactly right. You that's your best estimation. Remember, I think Gretna was the one that appraised them, and that's your best guess, Gretna, that they're worth around 1,000. But anyway, you are able to smash these and smash them expertly. You're not a gem cutter, but you do know how to at least hit these just like a stone or along its fault lines to split them up, and you can keep doing it to basically get them pieces of it into like pure powder, which is what you're going to need for this ink.
well,
I rip my dress and
Now
make it little pouches.
this is going to take an hour. This is actually going to take an hour of. It's not as easy as just pushing these together. Now Pan has to go through, and she's going to have to actually meticulously like stir this and get this just right so that the potency is correct, so she can start doing the circle. So it's an hour of this, and then she has to take the time to do the circle. But this can be done.
Can I help
Yeah.
with my Tinker's tools?
Yeah, you can to make this shorter. Yeah, you certainly
Well-
can. Yeah.
while this is happening, Shakula will gesture towards the dwarf and say, "Oi, bearded halfling, you want someone to talk to?" And he sticks a finger out towards Gretna and says, "She spoke to Brunor Battlehammer. He lives."
He puts his eyebrow up to you, Gretna, and
I
he
give him a, like,
says,
yeah, I did.
yeah, and he says, "Who is this Brunor Battlehammer?"
Oh
What?
no.
Oh damn
Oh
it!
no. Gretna's storming over.
You said
You're
what
the
about who?
greatest dwarf that ever lived.
He said, "What?" He said, "What? What? What kind of blasphemy is this?" He said, "Dwarden is the greatest dwarf that ever lived."
What?
He said,
Who?
"Dwarden is the greatest dwarf who ever lived." What? Who is this Brunor Battlehammer?
I think
Is it?
I'm
Gretna.
gonna go off about living up in Isadale and the whole thing that no. I'll start fighting with him.
Gretna.
While
Yep.
they're having the argument, I want to head over to Umbra and just say, "Can I talk to you in private for a second?"
He does.
Yes.
He does. By the way, as you're arguing, Gretna, he comes over to you and he says, "Who let you out of the kitchen?" This is literally a thing.
Oh
from
my
Greyhawk.
god!
This is not. Let me be very clear, though. This is something in Dwarven society within Greyhawk. All Dwarven women have one role, and they are literally there to like be chefs and cook. He can't even believe you are holding a battle hammer like mace thing, like your weapon.
Shit.
Like he can't even fathom it. So it's funny because it is like something that's like a massive, like as stupid Mahagas like man would say, but at the same time, this is a real question. Like he doesn't
You
even
wanna
know
be in
how.
the kitchen,
Yeah,
I'd be in the kitchen.
yeah. He said, "No, I'm not kidding. Like, where's your
Where's the
dwarf
what?
warriors?
My
Your
what?
warriors."
Cook
He says,
here.
"Where?" He starts going through it, and he says, "You know magic?"
Friend, I think it's worth mentioning
Yes.
we're
He's
not
saying this in
from
Dwarvish.
Oh,
Yeah,
never
they're
mind.
talking in Dwarvish.
I can
They're
hear
talking in
Kaylee
Dwarvish,
grinding
yeah.
her
Screaming
teeth
in
from the
Dwarvish.
other
Yeah.
room.
The Dwarvish is
Yeah.
actually the same. The Dwarvish is actually the same between worlds too. So
Shit. Sia doesn't know
Goblinoid?
Dwarvis, so
Yeah,
she's absent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goblinoid uses dwarvish letters. So like Shakulu's just like, why are they talking about apple orchards? What's going on?
Give me your name so I can chip it into your tombstone.
Oh,
Yeah. He looks at you. He looks at you and he says, he says, wait. He's like, listen. He says, how many of these dwarven, and he puts in air quotes, women just like walk around and like, he's like, where I'm from, there's literally 1,000 dwarven men to every one woman. How many of these
Wait a second.
women?
Hold now. Where is this?
Sounds terrible.
No,
Gretna's
you
now
can tell. You don't have
interested.
to make. You don't have to make an insight on this. That's why you can tell. He's actually not. He's actually just very matter of fact, and he is very very impressed that he is in the presence of a dwarven woman without literally 10 dwarven men around her, like protecting her or whatever. So he is. This is totally different to you, though, Greta. You have no idea. Like this is not how it is with you guys.
Yeah.
Dwarven
wish I
women
w-
are almost 50-50. Yeah.
I wish I
Where
was level
come from
20.
is equal.
I wish I was
Sorry,
level
buddy.
20 so I could just magically craft a squirt bottle and just like spray Gretna down.
But he does say he also says he's like this is he's like I could definitely get used to this. He's like, where are you guys going
What?
after this?
What?
Ahoy!
This is all in Dwarvish. Wait, he's asking you,
Oh
Greta.
damn it!
Oh, where are we
Yeah.
heading? I don't know. We just came from the abyss, and we just, were part of an uprising against the Drow, which was really kind of okay. And now I don't know where we're headed. But wherever it is, it'll be adventure.
He says, yeah. He says, yeah, yes, and I am very strong, and I am very, very capable of adventure.
Don't.
Oh.
Flat 100.
Roll persuasion.
Umbra, can I talk to you in private?
Yes, please. Anything to get a conversation. Let's go.
Gretna, can you turn your attention to the stone that we're working on instead of flirting with your boyfriend?
So about the whole thing with the runes and such. The general who we helped out, he said there was something on me, something deep within me that I reeked of a certain scent. When I asked him what it was, he questioned me as to whether or not my mother was raped by a demon.
Yes, I do remember hearing that.
Do you think that I'm able to do that? Because if that is true, I never knew my mother. I never knew my family. So I'm asking you because you're more knowledgeable about this stuff than I am. Do you think it's possible that I'm able to do that because that might be true?
Umbra is grasping for words right now. He's
I'm sorry if this is quite a bit for you to think about all at once.
I think
It's all right if you don't have an answer right now. I just
Has this ever happened before? The first time you went to the abyss? Has anything happened like that previously when you were younger?
I'm assuming I don't recall, Chris, or that nothing has happened.
You've never, yeah. I mean, you've never been within an inch of your life anyway, except for when you were in the abyss. Not to say that that's what causes this.
No, the first time this happened was when I escaped from the abyss, and I eventually met all of you.
I did keep a close eye on you, since I wasn't one of the people dealing the blows. I did see a certain rather alarming demonic influence that kind of took the reins as needed. Um, I think it's something I definitely want to look into more.
And
Possibly not.
I would be glad to assist you with it, as honestly speaking, I don't know much about myself.
There were Chris, just so I'm remembering correctly, there was two ways you said before to get it to surface.
No,
That
you don't actually know which ways to get it to surface.
would
Um,
would Max know? But like,
no, Max wouldn't know either. This is the
Yeah.
first time Max was mostly unconscious, got himself out of the abyss. So
do you remember? Is there any memory lapse? Let it.
I mean, not really. I remember I was practically dead, and I I I don't know. It must have been my instincts or something that uh, let me do it. I something just felt right to me when I was doing it, and I I fell through the floor much like I did uh, earlier, and I arrived in a different section of the Underdark and managed to survive off the food there, and then made my way up.
Well, I think I can safely say that I do not have all the answers, but I want to keep a close eye on you, and you can definitely stay close to me. I think we can say we've all had a very arduous day, and I look forward to heading back.
so
I.
yeah, and just so you know, so you can write it down if you need to, Gretna. But he does eventually give you his name. It is Zigby the dwarf. Zigby.
Zigbee.
Oh,
Zigby.
So,
Oh.
just because I know we're getting close to time, have we been able to powder the sapphires and mix them with ink?
Yes.
Also, side question, Max, were you and Umber having a conversation far enough away that no one else was here listening?
That was the
I
intention.
would assume so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Never mind. So you didn't hear anything.
Yeah, you probably would have just seen Umbra and I just walk away from everyone and then just discuss something.
Yeah,
Okay.
since you actually have had the hour too, Zigby's going to tell you that the other people that were following along with the party, all canon, Rigby the cleric,
oh
Sigby
my
the
god.
fighter, Robilar, and then Nigby and Digby were also with them, but all of
There's
them have
fucking
left.
Snow White and the 5 Dwarves.
You really only need to spell one, and then we just change out one letter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Spell one.
it's Zigby, and then the rest of them go through. It's Zigby, Rigby, Sigby, Sigby, and then Nigby.
Okay.
Zigbee? That's not good.
There's Nigby. Oh, you know what? I did say Digby. Digby's in it too. What I'm saying, there's 7. Yeah, Nigby and Digby.
So
Yep.
7 dwarves.
Oh my god, there's
There's Sneezy,
He
there's Doc, there's
he also
Dopey.
will tell you, that all of them, and if you guys care about this, he once if Gretna, if you question this, like what the hell, he's gonna
Yeah.
tell you, he's like it's damned Bigby's fault. He said Bigby was he explains that Bigby was one of
Bigby's
Mordecanian's
hand.
henchmen, and so that every single one of the group that followed after had to rhyme with Bigby, and so their names are this. Can't explain it, he doesn't know how it worked, but yes, his name is really Zigby. Yes, his friend, the cleric, is really Rigby, and so on. Robilar.
R-A-V-A, right?
Robilar.
Oh.
I thought my name was atrocious.
Out of game, you have just met the original group of Gary Gygax characters minus Mordecanian, who was the mage.
Wow.
So Chris, let me get this straight. The first group in D&D history was filled
Yes.
with pun names.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sounds
Fucking hell.
checks
That
out.
tracks.
It's worse
I
than
gotta
that.
get a new hobby.
Robilar, it's worse than that actually. This all got fixed later. Again, remember this is before second edition. Robilar, it's Robilar. Robilar was Robilar and Rari were also both takes on it. Rari is literally named after a rare steak, Rari steak. So Rari, the very famous wizard, is named that too. First edition and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons were on a whole other thing. Second edition was on a whole other thing. So I told Sio about this a little bit, but yeah, the for everyone that doesn't know the history, you weren't this idea that we're all playing heroes and we're all playing like heroic characters. That was never, ever, ever a thing in second edition. As a matter of fact, it assumed you were not. And that didn't come around until 3.5. Even 3.0, you're never assumed to be heroes. It's only 3.5 and beyond where that idea like came to be. But yes, this is the real thing. It's the real thing. Even worse, the original guy who did this name and it's not a bad thing. It's just he named his character this because his last name was this. He named his character Kuntz because his name is Rob Kuntz. His name is it's Kuntz, but
It's so unfortunate.
I'm
Rob
sure it
Kuntz is one of the
dude.
original. Yeah, yeah, but yeah. Yeah.
Well, we
People
know down in Max's world, they just throw that word out like it's
Yeah.
like it's like
Yeah, no,
hello.
that's true.
But no,
People
this is now granted, I will say this, Gygax saved all of this because again, as you can imagine, this was like 10 to 13-year-olds all playing a game. Like you have to understand the people that Gygax was playing with, he grew up with. So they started when they were like 13 or whatever. He saved all of this later, but this is what he had to deal with. Yeah. Because one of the kids was like, everyone has to rhyme with Rigby after this blah blah, but this is the real deal. This is it. So yeah.
I'm
James,
honest-
how are we looking on this teleportation circle?
Yeah.
Melf from Melf's Magic Arrows, male elf. The guy didn't want to name his
That is-
character.
That is 100% right. Yes, that is absolutely right.
I didn't think I could
What
like.
about Bigby's hand? Is
Well,
that
you'll see Bigby was the actual apprentice to Mordecanian, and Bigby is the one who literally cast the spell. So that
Oh.
Yeah.
all of the other people would have to rhyme with his name. So Mordecanian literally changes reality so that this dwarf is named Zigby. There's actually a really, really detailed lore behind what these guys were before this spell went off. It's actually pretty epic. But the dwarf will tell you, and he believes it wholly. His name is Zigby, and his friend, the cleric, is Rigby, and the other fighter is Sigby. So
Grant, now you
Yep.
can get into like a royal family of sorts.
Oh my god.
I
Oh,
just
yeah,
And
that's
and
what I'm
have-
thinking.
of hundreds of dwarven men?
real quick because we never asked, where's this teleportation circle gonna go? I mean,
One
that's
of
a good
two
question. It's
places.
wherever you guys want it, but
well,
show me.
she's got two places.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought you meant where is the circle on this side going to go? Yeah. Where are you drawing the circle though? That is important, Henri. On the other side, like because you obviously have to draw the circle here so you can go in. Where would you like it? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, cool. Yep, that works.
Asking where her two known sigils were, or where, at least where the one we're going to is.
Yeah, both fun places. So
Are
yeah,
you
no,
familiar?
they
You're
are fun
familiar with
places.
both those places, or at least friendly with them?
No,
Okay.
that the way she'll explain to you the way the spell works though is that she
Oh,
does
is it random?
intricately know. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Correct. Correct.
Which do we know which one of those two places is the most west?
Yep.
Okay, then let's go there. Yeah, okay, let's go there.
Yeah, Columnshome's a cool place.
And
Ink is ready.
before I walk back with Max, I would just like pull him aside and I will remind him that I am also part demon, not probably in the way he is, but I know it's complicated and that we all have each other's backs and I have yours and you've done a lot for us. So thank you.
I nod, pat him on the back, and say,
By the way, during that
Possibly.
hour, his friend Robillard does actually come up between. He sees you speaking dwarf and go through it, and he does pat his friend on the head, and he says, "You're gonna have to excuse my friend. He doesn't get out a lot, and he doesn't see a bunch of
Dude,
women."
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Columnshawn is literally so close to fucking Ahoy Hoy.
Fuck is
Egypt
Ahoy Ahoy?
Oreskes'
Oh,
home place.
What colored dragon do you think showed up in Ahoy Hoy?
What?
I hope it was lightning.
It was probably
Like turtle soup.
no dragon went to Ahoy Hoy.
That's
Turtle
It
great.
soup.
fucking died there.
I think it's just a beach of turtle soup.
oh my god.
A broth.
That's the meanest thing you've ever said.
Yep.
Well,
I'm sorry. I need to read it too. How long does it actually stay up for? Around 6 seconds?
Into your
Yeah, 6 seconds. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah. As soon as it's open, I'm going through with.
yeah.
I
Yep,
will
cool.
hand over the piece of chalk.
Cool.
This is interesting.
Oh, you guys are taking Robillard to Columnshawn. This is great. Good deal.
Uh-oh. That
Gretna,
makes me
get
worried.
No, it's fine. He just wasn't expecting it.
It's actually
Gretna, get
Robillard.
ready
I
for your
will.
honeymoon.
Yeah, I will tell you this. It is truly Robillard, and but yeah.
We're meeting a fucking progenitor of the entire fucking game. What is going on, bro?
And you actually, so that's really funny. So if you know who Melf is, you certainly know who Robillard is, right?
Yeah.
I've been
Okay,
here
cool.
before.
Yep. Yep.
I've been through here.
Yep.
Did you get run out of it too?
Yeah.
Columnsham is a city of Gen. It's a very fascinating place.
Oh,
I had to come up through here because I followed the coastline. I came up through here to get to Neverwinter.
Yep. Yeah, you would know a little bit about it. It's not the safest place in the world, but it's certainly not Thay. So
Back during
Yeah.
the golden days of the Eyes Black Trading Company.
yep. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. Cool. Is there anything? Does anybody want to do anything before you guys leave? Because we'll start the next session in Columnshawn.
I just want to do like as she's drawing it, do like a rain dance around the circle as if that's helping.
Yep.
um,
I'm gonna roll
see
a
you.
performance check. 6.
I hope.
It's not a dance.
Sia will message Max and tell him that she'd like to speak with him once we get on in the proper overworld.
Max will respond with sure thing.
And she'll just close her book, act like nothing happened, and we'll stand at the very edge of the circle ready to jump in at Pan's direction.
Max will just be focusing on his breathing until the circle is close to being finished, and then he'll step up and head to the outskirts of the circle.
Oh man, imagine if we actually go back to Neverwinter and cash in on all the stuff that Brotherhood said they'd give us.
No.
Yeah.
They want my book. They want my dragon, probably.
So again, we just leave that under a rock out of town. Then we come back and get it later.
I can't.
Oh, okay. Well, time to go to the beach.
I can't
Beach
believe we'll actually get a
episode.
beach episode. Like, the fact
Oh.
that this is
Beach.
possible.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah, so
build a
let's go.
sand
Yep.
castle.
Okay.
I will do that, and as soon as it's up, I am running my wiggly little tail through it.
Oh yeah. Shakalu runs through, excited to get out of literal hell.
You guys see Robillard does walk through, and so does the dwarf.
Digby.
Yep.
Oh,
I thought it
Digby.
was Zigbee.
He's whatever. He's
Zigbee,
whatever.
Zigbee.
He's whatever.
Oh,
you
this
think.
is gonna be fun.
Zigbee with a B.
I thought it was Siegfried.
Yeah.
Oh my
Zigbee with a Z.
I have never
Let's
felt
all
the
call him something else, and no
Yeah,
one call
let's-
him the same thing.
Let's all blame Rob Kuntz for that unbelievably dumb.
Yeah,
move that he
he's
did.
really
and
living
then,
up to his last name.
This-
literally it's stuck in the canon for like 20 something years. Like that's the best part about it is like this 13-year-old kid got something in a D&D that literally never ever like left, and there's no way to retcon it. So
He's really living up to his last name.
yeah.
This is the D&D experience, though. It's just going.
Rob,
Was it
I'm
Zigbee?
looking at-
No, it was Rigby. No, it was Bigby.
I'm
Yeah.
looking
No,
at a
it should
photo of
be
his
it should
name.
be blame Rob
For anyone that
Kuntz
doesn't
and
know too,
Max.
Bigby is also like super fucking famous. Bigby, there's spells named after Bigby. Exactly, yeah. He's super famous. He was the direct apprentice to Mordecanian. There's a whole reason why these group of adventurers are up and doing what they're doing and all that stuff. But anyway,
Rob Kuntz looks like he's not allowed within 100 feet of a playground.
I know. Trust me, I know. Yep.
Yep. Going through the portal.
Yeah, I'm going through.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody goes. Yep. So
Rob
all right.
Alon
So
has a Wikipedia page.
yeah, he does. He's pretty famous. Yep. All right. So so we're gonna start the session through that and go through it. But yeah, no, I'm not pulling punches. These guys are real. Robilar's a stupid fucking name, but again, it's these guys were younger when they created it. Robilar was literally named after the Hamburglar. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Better. On God,
Yep.
it gets better.
No.
Yeah.
No one is allowed to make fun of anyone's character concept, okay? That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm reading about the Company of the Seven, which was Tasha, Nolzer.
Yeah. No spoilers there, but yes, Company of the Seven is hugely important and also tied to this or whatever too. But
Paul, I love
Yeah.
his feather.
Yep.
Last.
Yep.
My God. All right.
Oh,
Well, I'm
this
gonna
is-
get out so that
Yeah.
Erastus and Co can have their continuation of the emotional
And
trauma.
by the way, all of this stuff that we're learning about now is going to be more and more. It already started in Witchlight, but it's going to be heavily featured in some stuff coming up, which is why this was always part of the campaign, which is why these guys are in it. Why? So this is a very small taste of part of the main hook. Now you can ignore all this if you want. Don't get me wrong, you don't have to go through and take any of this, but you'll see this, especially next session, will start to ramp up. This will go through it. Anyone who plays Witchlight will be smacked in the fucking face with parts of the main campaign art, because again, Witchlight was always meant to be part of that. Does not mean you have to play Witchlight, so don't worry about that. But you guys will see there's a whole trend. That's why dragons are so important now. It's why like there's going to be a whole book about them or whatever. D&D is going back brilliantly to what started all of this, and there's a lot of awesome outside of Gaiax's nonsense. Anything advanced D&D, anything original D&D is garbage, to be honest. Anything second edition starts to get a little better, but it's really the end of second edition right before it became 3.0 and then the 3.0 lore that made D&D fucking awesome. And that's what Chris Perkins is focusing on. So that's why the campaign was set up this way. Even I mean, Tyler, how long have you been playing this campaign for? Over a year. So
Yeah.
that's why it's always been like this. So you'll see there's a bunch of payoffs that are coming that you guys will get to see as the books start coming out. It's why the pillars and the obelisks are important and all that stuff, but you'll see.
We
So, and-
Group B also just hit a year.
Yeah, I was just about
Yeah,
to
that's
say
right.
that.
Oh,
We started
congrats.
playing the
Yep,
last
yep.
the
Yeah,
last
that's
week
right.
of September.
And
Oh, it's
no,
literally
and what's
tomorrow.
crazy, and I hate to tell you for the new people, what's really nuts, no one has hit any of the main arcs yet. They're close, but this is all prequel. This is literally just prequel that we're playing through. No main arc yet at all.
We're gonna be
I
level 20.
expected.
It's like welcome to the
Yeah.
jungle.
So this is
Yeah,
the training
that's
arc.
actually why this is exactly why level 10 is different also from like the other levels anyway. But that's the truth is that when I started this, I actually thought this was all just going to be written. I didn't think anyone was playing through the Tomb of Horrors. I didn't think any like was going. My original idea was to do this in a game store and to have everything that you guys were doing all decided by me, not by players, and just write it through. This is more fun, obviously, because you guys get to actually make up the prequel. But that's the truth. The truth is we have not. We're very close in this group now too to hitting one of the threads that will all lead to the main arc. And then we'll see about Group C since they're starting Witchlight as well. But yeah. So
And just to be clear, the teleport worked.
yes, it did. It
Oh
teleported. You're gonna
my
go to Contra,
God.
yeah. And not only that, you are very close to Hoi Hoi.
Yes, we
Yep.
are because it's that little island at the tip of the
Yep.
peninsula.
We're actually
We're,
going.
we're, we're, we're maybe like 100 miles away from Ahoy Hoy.
I hope you have like in-game mechanics for volleyball because we're having a beach episode.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going
Action surge.
Well, so
Now,
it,
when you read Witchlight, do me a favor. Even don't read it, Gage, if
I'm
you
not
can.
gonna
Matter
read
of fact, I hate the fact that you have to read it, but you do have to read it if you're gonna DM this. But
Yeah.
I'm not
once
gonna
you
DM
read
it.
it, just
I just bought it.
no, I think Kaylee is right. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying it's fine. I mean, obviously you
She's
gotta
gonna
read the
DM
module.
Witchlight?
But
Yeah. If you're bullying me into doing one shots, I'm gonna DM Witchlight.
so
Yeah,
that's on.
that's-
Otherwise, I would tell you do not fucking read Witchlight. The payoff is so worth it. But in this case, you have to. You can't even do the module without reading the end. So once you
That's
do
news
that,
to me.
just do me a huge favor and just don't say anything about the obviously very big like reveals because for you guys who don't know. Unfortunately, they butchered Witchlight. Witchlight is literally Witchlight's only 5 chapters in this book. It's actually written as 12. I have all of them. They're not finished, but they are. Like the only things that are not finished are table mechanics, some of the enemies, and there's no art. But everything else was written. Chris is fucking brilliant. Best work he's ever done, and it all ties into the greater narrative and the greater whole thing. And it's very obvious that Chris Perkins really, really loves the same time period that I do, which is specifically why Witchlight is written the way that it is. And so that's why I'm saying, Kaylee, just do us all a favor and do not talk about the end reveal of Witchlight. But
Yeah.
um but but you'll see once a group finishes that or whatever, things are just gonna make so much more fucking sense, hopefully. And then also after like I said, unfortunately Witchlight is also, here's the best part about Witchlight. Witchlight was marketed, I actually saw the marketing pitch for Witchlight. It was marketed for women and children to think they're playing something that's like super cute. It is 100% not that. Chris Perkins did
Oh,
an
great.
amazing job. Yeah, no, it's nothing like that. Chris Perkins did such a good job because he was like, well, I really like Something Wicked This Way Comes, and I've never been allowed to do the Feywild, but I know that I can get it past if I make things really cute, like they're supposed to be in the Feywild. But he wrote it awesome. Like it is so good. Yes, there are cute things within the Feywild as they're supposed to be. Yes, there are like Disney elements, but it's very much it's Fey stuff. Just like everything that was ever written about the Fey, where it's also dangerous and there's also very amazing adult things. As a matter of fact, as Kaylee starts reading through it, there's really adult themes within Witchlight. The characters, all their motivations and everything, very, very complex. So it's great. And So just understand that too when you guys go through and play it on your own, because I don't think this group will be doing Witchlight from the thing. But keep in mind that it's actually not a Disney module. It's really quite the opposite. He did get nixed after the 5th chapter. Apparently, I haven't even talked to them about this yet, but I was really surprised because it's like fucking 5. It's very short. It's only Prismere,
Cool.
and there are many more Domains of Delight that were written, and it's a much larger arc. So we'll go so you'll have an option like in 6 months or if you find the fair again. That first stuff is only 1 through 8 anyway. There's a much bigger story arc that is very important to the whole story that does happen after the official module of Witchlight. So
Cool. Well, we'll if Kaylee's gonna DM Witchlight, that's news to me, so I'll look forward to that.
I mean, that's
Yep.
what I'm doing for the Halloween thing. If
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
thought
get
you were
bullied into doing
well,
it.
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later because it has nothing to do with this group. Yeah. Well, do you want us to go to secret to figure out our stuff?
yeah, let's do our thing real quick. Yep.
Chris, before you go, I just want to clear up one detail from our session notes.
Yes.
So back a few sessions ago when we were given the ticket, the child said that he was sent by Mr. Witch, and then the letter we got with the basket was addressed from Mr. Light.
That is
I
correct.
just okay. I just
It's
wanted
all
to make
correct.
sure.
That is correct. Yep. That is
And
100% correct.
Okay.
and Max did look up some notes on the Witchlight Carnival in the library, though there really wasn't that much, to be honest.
That's right.
There's nothing we
was-
would know currently that we would still think that we'd be going to the Feywild, correct? Like I don't think that we have the abyssal ticket to the other one, the dark one, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I can't spoil anything for you guys, but you
Just
have
in character, I would know.
another. You do have another way in. You just haven't found it yet. It's within your bag of holding.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make
It's to ride
sure.
with you, but yeah.
That's true. Okay, I just want to make sure I had everything straight in character.
Yeah, we know it's a
Max
little
does.
sus,
Max
but
did find something. Even though Max didn't find a lot, I don't think Max realizes how important that information is. But I did give you the information on one person,
Yeah.
right? That seemed random.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very key though. Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't really got a chance to tell everyone about it, so
Sure.
we'll
Of
see
course.
if it
Yeah.
pops up next
Yeah.
session.
Yep. By the way, everything that I told you guys about Witchlight, that doesn't mean that I want you to play Witchlight by any means. We have 2 groups going into it, so don't think that at all. I was saying that more because of the fact that it's going to start the stuff that happens in Witchlight, no matter if you play it or not, at some point you'll know. I'll just put it that way. At some point you'll know because whatever happens within Witchlight, vastly important to the campaign on failure, success, and then it just changes. The first 5 chapters change everything, and the 12 chapters really change everything. If somebody gets to that, so we'll see.
All right. Well, I
So you'll
had a
know
great
about it
time,
regardless.
guys.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to exploring everyone else's backstories at some point, but that's
Yeah.
probably a long.
It'll all happen. It's all gonna happen. Trust me.
The
It's,
CO arc is paused.
You think?
Yep,
Cio's
we'll have to
very
see.
exhausted.
Yeah.
Cio wants to trauma share with someone else.